There we go. We should be heard out there, and if you want sound, you have to give us money. Oh shit, I turned the sound on too quick then. Wait, I'll turn it back on. Alright then. You can just write an IOU for sound, anyone of the... Well, here we are again, back on Alan's channel for reasons some people know, and some people don't know the story, but... Yeah, I got a little bit of a strike again, and somebody didn't check their emails, and I would have had it sorted, but... Oh, we all learn. So what's everyone been up to while I haven't been doing anything?
Mental healing.
Oh, okay.
Avoiding Lindsay.
So the question is for you guys in America, is your country being run by anyone at the moment?
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Ah.
Definitely.
Or
It's on autopilot.
It's on autopilot.
I was gonna say somebody won the election and they're currently in charge.
Okay. And what is their first thing that they've done to prove themselves?
Sign about 30 executive orders changing almost everything he could.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm doing just about everything.
He had a list of all the things that were going on before, and he's gone, okay, we're going to change all that.
Basically, yes.
Wow.
Get back in the Paris Accord, rejoin WHO, all the stupid things that Mr. Trump did, he undid.
As many things as he could.
And I heard that Trump got a new legal team. He sacked his
because
old
the other
one
guys,
or something.
well, no, they quit.
Oh, they quit. Okay.
They said no. No, we're not going to do this. Sorry.
Turns out when you have no case and you don't like to pay your legal team, lawyers don't want to represent you.
Oh, go figure.
Yeah, he's got a history of not paying people. I don't know, lawyers like to be paid.
Well, yes, they do like to be paid. That's the whole point.
Yeah, it's weird that, isn't it?
You can't get legal.
I don't know. I haven't heard much about Australia. Have you guys been doing anything? I mean, Australia only makes the news when they do something really stupid, usually.
What's
No,
not
serious,
that often?
I don't mean
That's
that.
not that often.
No, it's not actually. What I mean is, Australia only makes the news when something really odd happens.
Or something's on fire.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
the
well,
fires.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we haven't had them this year. Touch wood. I mean, not touch wood, but.
I would say touch wood might be a bad one to say.
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that. No, I shouldn't use that one. Now, at the moment, it's just been really weird with the like raining type weather more than anything. The heat hasn't really. We had a couple of spats of a little bit of heat there, but we've been getting a bit of rain more than anything else. So this is weird for the same time of year as like the years before.
I found out, I was looking the other day at how many people actually live south of the equator. I got a cough again. Excuse me. Don't worry, it's only Corona. And it's only 12% of people in the world live south of the equator.
Wow, that is a little amount that I didn't think of.
Look into it. It's not that many. I mean, the biggest city is Rio. And there are only 25 million people in all of Australia, and that's basically the population of the New York metropolitan area.
It's almost the population of London.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think the population of London's a little bit less than that, but not much.
It's either we don't breed enough, or we don't let enough people come in, or we keep people out.
Well, there's also less land mass above water in the south hemisphere.
Yeah,
true.
we got plenty of land, like for habitable for people to live on.
Well, it's sort of habitable. I mean, the whole outback is pretty much.
Well, we
a
don't want to live.
wasteland.
No, not up the coasts and all that area. There's lots of spare land all around that just people don't live on. It's all turned into nature reserves and all that sort of stuff. But they do start, which I have noticed over the years, that the grazing lands that used to be around, even down my way, they've actually, the people that owned them, they've just sold them off and turned them into housing estates. So that's sort of a thing.
I have a question for you guys. When they changed the words to the national anthem, was that a big deal, or is that just who cares?
Depends on what anthem they want to use. Like the one we had, they did want to change it, and the flag. Like we've gone through all those things over the years. Oh, we got a farmer.
Didn't they change?
Long time
Good
no
morning.
see, Mr. Amazon.
Not a farmer.
Boss.
Hello, mate. How's it going?
Good. I keep catching you over in Gems once in a blue moon, but I never get to
Yes.
get to say g'day.
Well, it's difficult to have a sensible conversation with anybody in there, isn't it?
Impossible.
Yes. Quite impossible.
Well, they have a couple of guys that just ramble on, and then if you dare interrupt them, they scream and you get silenced. But
Paid NASA Shield. Shall I just go and find Rakia for you?
no, Rocky, God, that guy's obsessed with me. I don't know why. I'm
He
in his
really
head.
doesn't like you, does he?
I'm in his head for some reason.
Rocky's man crush is just moved from one guy to the next.
Yeah, he's got his man crush on me. And there's another guy. Oh, who's the guy? Who's the guy who? One of your fellow Australian flat earthers. What's his name? He's back street now. Back something. Bandsaw.
Oh,
Bandy.
Bandy! No, don't pick on
Yeah.
Bandy.
Oh,
Don't pick
Bandy
on
goes
Bandy.
I like Bandy, but he noticed
Bandy's
that
cool.
he noticed that paid NASA show is PNS, which sounds like penis to him, and it was funny for about half an hour. But another guy didn't, never let it drop. So he's got some sort of crush on my man organ, but I don't understand. No, I have no Bansaw's funny. I like him.
Yeah,
He wasn't a flat
Bandy-
earther. I think I.
Well, he's not
wasn't-
really. I wouldn't call him a flat earther. He's a wannabe flat earther.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got that Australian sense of humor that I like.
Yeah, I catch him down in what's that channel down in Discord that I sometimes Aaron that Aaron bloke's in there as well, and a few others. When Bandy's in there, I'll have a talk. Yeah, is it Brandon's flat earth?
Yeah, Brandon's Ranty's flat earth thing.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, if he's in there and a couple of the other guys, yeah, I'll drop in and have a chat.
I've been in and think that well, they have Jeremy in there who's and they keep on trying to build these mega structures to prove that they want to physically or prove that the earth is curved or flat, and they're proposing to build these amazing structures that won't freaking work, and to prove that they're going to build like a mile long trench of concrete.
Oh God, yeah.
There's basically they wanted to build two curbs a mile long each side by side and roll them out of their mold and compare the top edge.
To see if, and the problem is that there's nothing on earth that's stiff enough over a mile. I mean, concrete is not stiff. I mean, it will break.
Mm.
And that's why you don't see it used much in in tension, versus opposed to compression, because it'll shatter. So when you roll it out of that mold, it's going to break.
And the other
if
one
you
that
have
they
to
keep
use it-
on using is the bloody string or or line or whatever. And yeah, in
Yeah,
theory,
the string-
yes,
the
you
string
can do it.
sags.
You could do it in a mind or draw it or whatever. But in reality, no, it wouldn't
Well,
work.
you're gonna break it.
Look at who's suggesting doing things in concrete. Just think about who's actually suggesting that.
Yeah, people who pour concrete. That's
People who pour concrete, and that makes you think that they should actually know better. They should understand the materials they're working with, but clearly don't.
Well, they're not exactly material scientists.
No,
They're
No,
like
but-
guys who pour concrete.
correct. And as I said to somebody the other day in the side chat, because they say, "Oh, water always finds its level." It's a good job that concrete does that too. Or certainly when it's still wet, it does anyway.
Yeah, I mean, you can use concrete in tension a bit, but by God, you have to put a lot of reinforcing shit inside it.
Yeah, it's so much that you might as well just not use concrete because it's just really not an effective material for that, is it? It's
Yeah.
I was going to say, there's a reason why things like the Large Hadron Collider and those are built underground.
Yes.
Concrete's very poor in tension or shear. It just doesn't work.
No.
You just keep it
Fine.
compression.
The other conversation I had down in one of those channels was, who's the level horizontal guy?
Bev.
Bev.
Bev,
Level-
yeah.
Level is horizontal.
Yeah. We're having a conversation. I was able to get me 2 cents worth in because there wasn't that many people over talking.
Sounds like you've been talking to Paige.
And I mentioned something about, or contradicted something that he said about plumb bobs or something, and I said something, and he says, and he actually picked up on what I said. He said, "Oh, you got any experience in the building trade or whatever?" And I said, "Enough to make this statement and fact about something." And then I continued on with what I said, and okay, he didn't have any rebuttal for that, so at least I got something out that put a stop to something that they said, because he didn't argue back with me.
Yeah, because he has worked in construction.
Yeah.
And that's where he's got his very limited knowledge of surveying. He's been on the course or something. Not the course he claims to have been on, because that doesn't actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, he clearly knows what lies he's telling, because this whole bloody experiment of his with the water level, he has openly said that yes, a water level doesn't care what it's on, whether it's a curved surface or a flat surface, because of course water levels just reference themselves. It doesn't matter what they're on. And he knows that. He said that. I think it was talking to Slice Barcane in Jose's hangout. And I don't think many people actually picked up on it. But he said, oh yes, it doesn't matter what it's on. So what's the whole point of using a water level? What do you think you're proving when it doesn't matter what surface it's bloody sat on? The whole thing's completely redundant, and yet he's been banging on about this for it must be at least a year, if not 2.
Well, didn't you want to hook up like 3 water levels to each other so that you'd see if it was round or not, or what? Like,
Well, the
wasn't
problem
it
is he
something
wants to put all of these water levels next to each other, but they're all still just a series of a water level with a what's at each end. He isn't doing what Sly did, where he's got one long pipe with lots of different sections in it. He's just got lots and lots of series of water levels all next to each other. I mean, what is that going to prove? Nothing.
But they're all level.
Exactly.
With each other. That's all.
Yeah, but
They're
I
not
think he knows
They're not
that.
interconnected?
No,
Unless
they're
you-
not. No, they just happen to sit next to each other.
That's like a proof shit then.
Unless you shoot from one end to the other, you'll never see anything.
No. And he knows that, because in something else he was presenting, there was a suggestion that you sighted at each end and had something in the middle, and he took out the something in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as soon as you take out the something in the middle, it's proven bugger all.
Well, it's like I keep threatening. Once we get rid of COVID, I'm going to have Nathan drive me down to Chatteris, and I'm going to do the Wallace experiment on the Bedford level.
Be careful. They still eat people in Chatteris.
Yeah,
You
you
have to go
don't
to-
actually have to go into Chatteris, do you? Yeah,
You can do the Bedford level on the Bedford level?
yeah, I'm going to do the Bedford levels on, because we have to remember that the Bedford levels are not actually in Bedford or even in Bedfordshire.
I grew up, as it turns
They're in
out, approximately 18, 19 miles away from where that was done.
Yeah.
Can you see the
I grew
picture
up
I
in the
put
sa-
up?
I grew up in the same county.
You can see the
Yeah, that
picture.
looks like Bev's whiteboard.
Yeah, that's the level is horizontal.
Yes. That's. I think that's an older iteration.
Oh
than
yeah,
this.
I know. I haven't got. I need a newer version of something.
That's also an extremely short distance. I don't know how long the actual experiment is that he wants to do, but like that's the other thing none of these guys think about is the distances you've got to get to actually start seeing.
Any of these effects.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
1600
That's
meters
why-
is nothing.
That's why I have to.
Mile there. So.
That's why these guys in Brandon's and where the channels start talking about building these mega structures. And they're like trying to build like a stone fence for a mile long. And then they figure out that, hey, a mile long stone fence is going to be like really expensive and hard to build. So we'll just build sections of the stone fence.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got a real easy one. I'll go buy a telescope, like a good one, 120 times zoom or something. I'll drive out to the beach. I live on the Pacific coast. I'll drive out to the beach. It's a, bit of a drive, but I can make it out there, and I'll point it at Japan. I should be able to see it, right? If the world's flat, like.
That's optics. You can't use optics.
Yeah.
That's right. You can't use optics because
Okay.
because of reflection.
Because of reflection, yeah.
Yeah, reflection. Either that or perspective, one or the other.
Yeah. Because of all the air that's in the way of blocking.
Yeah. And everyone knows that, I can't even say it correctly now. Refraction is a thing. So of course, the fact that refraction doesn't explain all the phenomena that they say it explains is another rule, but it just bends the light. I'm still trying. There's a couple guys in there that really pissed at me when I try to tell them, hey, to explain to me how the sun sets at 30 arc minutes big,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only 30 arc minutes big at noon as well.
Yeah, it's 30. Actually, it's like 29. Yeah, it changes by like 0.02 or anyway. But yeah, and that's like 15 times the Raleigh criteria, and then they come up with some sort of Aether band bullshit. And Lemon Bird and his stupid vision from the bottom is occluded, so much stuff is trying to cram its way into your eye or something. And I'm like,
well, my whole thing is the sun has to be beyond whatever else would be at the horizon, right? Like it has to be farther than other cities, mountains, whatever that I'd be looking at. So I can see the sun, which has to be behind that. That's not setting in front of it into some hole into the ground. So if I can see the sun, I should be able to see the things in front of it, right? Like
new thing.
Right. Well, until they stop meeting the one. But of course, the thing is that okay, maybe you can't see Japan from the west coast of America because of because none of Japan meets the right is making the Riley criteria anymore. However, the minute it comes to nighttime, you should be able to see the lights of Tokyo.
Yeah.
Because light sources don't, to see a light source doesn't require that it's bigger than the Riley criteria. It's just
got to be bright enough.
It's just got to be bright enough, and it wouldn't have to be very bright. To see a light, it doesn't have to be very bright.
No.
Yeah.
To fire photons out and get a reflection back, they tend to need to be a bit more gutsy with the sending them out. What with inverse square distribution on the way out and inverse square distribution on the way back.
Yeah, I forget how much it is for the human eye. You needed X number of photons to hit the eye to.
Yeah. But I mean, we could put a camera behind that telescope, and we could count those photons. Integrate the photons over a much longer period.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and you'll see stars and all sorts of objects at the horizon, but you'll never see, another city or whatever unless you're, somewhere where you're super close.
I mean, let's face it. If I look sort of northeastish out of my front door, the first major city or town is Copenhagen, which is like 500 miles away. It's only 500 miles away. Why can't I see the lights of Copenhagen? Or if I go to if I go down to the beach, I should be able to look southeast and see all the lights on the Dutch coast at night.
Ahoy, hoy!
And Holland.
I actually saw there was a let's see, I can find it. There was a guy who put out a way to prove that the Earth is flat, and he did it using what it was there was a flight from Sydney to Johannesburg, and he plotted the route it takes, which is a great circle route, obviously. But on the flat Earth model, you could get in and take, the straight line, which is like 25% shorter, and beat the flight there, right?
Yeah.
So here it is. I think let me post it. Is it? Yes. Anyway, so you could, and so that would be a proof if you could fly that route and beat the other airplane. And if you did that, it would prove that the Earth is flat. This one I was trying to get to. I haven't seen Wolfie around. I was going to show it to Wolfie.
Well, if you flew a plane faster than the other plane.
Well, no, you have to fly the same speed. Here.
Oh, okay.
It's posted in chat, in this chat here. No, because what you're doing is basically you cut the because on the flat Earth, the great circle route is an arc, right? So you cut the arc, which is shorter on the flat Earth. And you could do this. It would cost some money, but
but
crowdfund it or something.
Which I'd like to know what flat Earth map they're using, because if you use the usual equidistant azimuthal projection based on the North Pole, a flight from Australia to Johannesburg starts looking awfully difficult because
so you take out my dog.
Be right back. Long way.
Yeah, I'm just looking for a couple of videos to watch now and again. Got a few here.
And, I mentioned earlier on those A's, has anyone seen, it's either Troll B. Trolls or Everett Anderson, and it's QE, has dubbed the song over the Rolling Stones' Angie.
That's Troll versus Trolls, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't, it's almost too cringy to watch.
It's really quite painful. It really is. I did listen to it. It's like, I wish I hadn't done that.
I just shook my head, man. God dang. I was embarrassed for the dumbass.
Yeah.
Almost.
Has anyone got any other recommendations for videos of either debates or somebody's brought out? I've got our Where's Wally. I've got Everett Anderson. These are on our side. Who else have I got? I've got a Simon Dan. Who else have I got?
Everett's been churning out some good stuff, hasn't he? I'm surprised he hasn't got any followers, to be honest.
Yeah. Who else have we got?
I have to say that flight thing ain't going to work because it's the wrong map. Because they're using their Mercator. But he's using a Mercator projection when he really ought to be using.
You got naked people out in the side chat, Alan.
Yeah, but I'm going to fall asleep, so I can't leave. I can't put everybody blue because I need actual moderation, don't I?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I must admit, I probably won't be. I thought I'd pop in after I'd had some fun and games with Pip, but it's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I'd at least pop in and say hello and hang out for a bit, you know. But
it's been snowing all day. It's still snowing. It's settling even worse now.
Oh.
And I've got to figure out some bloody way to get from here to the post office by 9:30 in the morning.
And you haven't got snow chains.
And
you don't do things like that.
And my front drive's at about a 30-degree slope.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's handy.
And
Right there. Just get on your butt and just slide all the way to the post office.
Yeah, but you know, the electric wheelchair is going to like it.
Yeah, he does have a speed hump. He does have a bit of a speed hump over the river. That's the only problem.
Oh yeah.
I told you, Alan. We're going to get you some snow tires for your wheelchair.
Oh yeah. Chains.
Yeah.
You want one of those off-road ones that's got tracks on it?
I do actually. Yeah, at the minute, yes, that's
that would do you just fine. Then
you could just get one of those sleds, you know, just kind of lash yourself to the sled and.
Yeah, we haven't got the snow yet. Although it did try when I popped out earlier on and got my vaccination. Thank you very much.
Oh, you got
jab.
You got microchipped, huh?
That's what I said earlier. I saw one out earlier on and got microchipped.
I haven't got mine yet.
Oh man, I can't wait to get mine.
Well, it because of the drugs I'm on, my psoriasis drugs lower my immune system, so that puts me up towards the sort of top end of the list.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much. I popped in and not had any adverse side effects yet. So.
I haven't even heard about it for us over here yet. What's going on? I mean, I hear about it a little bit, but not enough to. What's going on? And I don't even know if we've got the same vaccines as everyone else, because all these different countries were developing their own vaccines.
Well, I'm sure yours is based on kangaroos or something.
So if I start jumping around after I get the vaccine.
We all know which one you've got, yeah.
Oh, if I get the koala one, I start climbing trees.
That's it.
Okay.
I'll get the drop bear one.
Oh dear. I think I got the Oxford one today. I think you said. Because there are several types we can have over here, but you basically said you get what we're given. I said, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, but did they develop it from the old virus or that new strain that came through, or they're not worried about that one?
I don't think they're too worried about that one, because most of these vaccines you have 2 jabs 12 weeks apart. So obviously I'm going to get another jab in about 3 months' time. And I think by then they might have made sort of developments or modifications. I don't know. But...
I heard that maybe the mRNA vaccine, I think that the protein it codes for worked for both strains.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe those mRNA vaccines are a little bit more generic than some other methods of doing vaccine, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
So it can change it. It can mutate a little bit, and they'll still be okay.
Well, I hope you've all got your masks on, because Blue had the man flu, so you've got to be careful.
Oh, mate, I have to wear a mask all day at work, don't I? Always makes me laugh. These people say, "Oh, I can't do that. I can't wear a mask all day." Well, funny, I bloody can, walking 10 to 12 miles a day, pumping bloody.
Oh, how do you breathe? You'll suffocate.
Well, it's funny that I don't. I mean, the only problem I have is you have to get it sat just right on your face so it doesn't mist your glasses up. But once you've done that, you're fine.
Yeah, the adjustment band for some of these masks is the cloth ones. They don't have any adjustment on them, but those. The surgical ones have got the little metal bar in them, so you can squash them around your nose.
That's why I have them. That's why I have them, because I wear glasses. So you need to get a nice tight fit across the bridge of your nose.
Yeah.
I'm going to say there is an even easier option for that one, mate. Use a respirator S10.
Yeah. I'm wearing one of them all day at work. Lovely one.
You could always get a
Well,
peg
you
and
know.
peg it over your nose to squash it in so it seals better.
Yeah. I've worn the S10 all day. No, I tell a lie, I've worn the S6 all day. The older one.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
You know.
I mean, it's no great shape. Yes, it's a bit of a pain in the arse sometimes, but you know, so what? It's not like I've got any choice. I mean, yeah, we have to try and maintain 2 meters distance as much as we can, and sometimes you can't do that, but got to keep your mask on, and it's not difficult. It really
Yeah, I was going to say you can always wear an S. You can always wear an S10 and the rest of the suit that goes with it, and then you wouldn't need to worry about the social distancing either.
Well, yeah, but it's so bloody hot in there that I really don't fancy that.
What, you really don't fancy walking around in full nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare?
In
suit?
a full noddy suit? No, thank you. No. Christ, I mean, it's lightweight trousers and the lightest t-shirts I've got, and it's still too hot because hey, they finished building the tower. It's got a ventilation system in it, and they've never switched it on.
Oh, that's nice of them.
Yeah, well, I keep complaining, saying, "Could you please turn it on?" I've had several bullshit reasons as to why it's not on.
Yeah,
And it's
money, I would guess.
Oh no, neither of them. They were supposed technical reasons. I said, "You do realise you're talking to somebody who spent over 30 years designing such systems, so I know when you're talking shit." You know? And I have just downloaded and printed off a document from the health and safety executive that I'm just going to give to my manager on Wednesday and say, here's a little something you might want to bear in mind, and just walk away and leave them to it. About not only do they have a legal obligation to provide us with plenty of fresh air, that during times of COVID, they should provide more. And at the moment, they're providing none.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be even more popular than I am already, I'm afraid. Of course, it's like a fucking oven up there. It really is.
What did Shills put in the internal chat? An experiment that will shake every flat earth doctrine believer to their core.
This was what I was talking about, where they fly the short route, the so-called short route on the flat Earth map.
Yeah.
It don't work because they're not using the
yeah.
flat Earth map. They're just using a they're using a Mercator projection. Doesn't really work with the Mercator projection.
What flat Earth map?
True, but you come on. The flat earthers usually go with a North Pole centered equidistant azimuthal projection.
Yes, this is true.
It's a secret map.
And that is most definitely Mercator. Or very close to.
So the flight, 14-hour, 15-minute Qantas flight 63 from Sydney to Johannesburg is a long flight. While far from the world's longest flight, it's well over half a day's journey.
The problem is that on the normal flat earthers map of choice, the distance from Sydney to Johannesburg is an awful lot further, and you fly across India and the Himalayas in the process. And then right down the east coast of Africa.
Well, that's a bloody silly way to go.
So
well, there's the other one. The other one is the famous Perth to Rio de Janeiro route. That's basically over Antarctica.
Oh yeah.
Well, it doesn't actually. None of the great circles quite make it to Antarctica.
Oh, they're close. I think one of these actually does. I think Perth to, but they don't fly it very much, and they don't fly over Antarctica because they fly in 2-engine airplanes, and then you get into the whole ETOPS rules.
Yeah.
But if you had a 747, you could do that right over Antarctica.
Oh yeah, it's the Sydney Santiago one. That's Sydney Santiago Johannesburg, and Johannesburg Sydney. None of them quite make it down all the way to.
You see on this one that where you have it right now. If they were to fly the so-called straight line from Sydney to Johannesburg on the flat Earth, you would beat the Qantas flight by a substantial margin.
Well, even on that map, if you drew a straight line from there, it'd be a lot quicker than going around that curve way.
Yeah, the only problem is that curve is the short route.
Yeah.
But
And
but I should be able to just hover in a helicopter as the Earth
Yeah,
rotates
hover in the
below me.
helicopter as the Earth rotates
Correct.
under
Yes,
you,
just
right?
wait
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the Earth to move.
yeah, but as I
I
say,
always love that one because then next question I ask them usually is, so when you walk outside, is there a 1,000-mile-per-hour wind?
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, the air's not, the atmosphere is not moving with the Earth. Yeah, so every time you open your front door, you get literally swept off your feet.
Yeah, you get a 1,000-mile-per-hour wind coming
Yeah,
across.
that's
generally
right. You don't, do you?
Going the other direction would be going from east to west. And actually, the interesting part about this is that the ones that Sleepy and Nathan and all use is they use Baltimore to Los Angeles, saying that it should be a lot shorter than the other way around. And in reality, the eastbound flight, is shorter than the westbound flight. And the answer is because of Coriolis, because the prevailing winds are from west to east because of Coriolis. The eastbound flights are shorter than the westbound flights by an hour to half an hour to an hour, depending on the winds and season.
unless you get down in the doldrums.
Well, that's not the United States, though. The United States is directly in the easterlies.
But in his video, he never mentioned the jet stream.
Well, no,
Did he?
because I would shoot his argument all the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, as you were trying to point out earlier on, hurricanes.
Yeah, hurricanes. But but then they go, wait a minute. Then the latest thing is that Coriolis is just an optical effect.
That's bullshit from Montreal that he's been trying to peddle that for the last few months and calling.
No, Montreal is
vision.
Montreal's now just obsessed with me. He's so full of shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he tried to. We got
So-
him down on Jose. Was it Jose's the other day? Giving him a challenge to get on a train, blindfolded and deafened, and ask him can he feel the motion or the
Right.
of the train.
On a train, you might be just a little bump thing. It depends on the train. I mean, if you on the United States train, you probably would. If you got on like the Shinkansen or one of those German trains, you probably wouldn't.
Well, the high-speed train, even those ones that they have over in Japan.
Yeah.
Really smooth.
You'd feel it over here because our tracks are so bloody knackered. But
Yeah. Same way in the United States, our trains suck.
So,
But
did you actually say that he said that Coriolis was an optical effect?
yes.
yeah, that's the latest argument. Is that it's an optical effect.
Montreal's been pushing that for months.
Because the idea is that they think, the traditional, the traditional introduction, if you will, to Coriolis is the guys on the merry-go-round or roundabout, as you guys want to call it, whatever.
Yeah.
You throw the ball back and forth.
Oh,
that one.
Hang
Yeah.
on. Hang on. Talking to Travis about this, and then you hear in the background, "Are you talking to retards?"
Yeah, but the idea, that's just the introduction. And then they go, well, it's not physical. I'm going like, wait a minute. So all these air molecules are moving north because of the heat, and they're transferring their momentum. They're bumping into all the other air molecules, and that causes the real breeze, the real wind to the east. I mean, it is a real effect. But,
Oh, look, Coriolis effect of a bullet over 1,000 meters when fired at a particular bearing in Woking in Surrey.
Sure.
well,
And
that's-
oh dear, but the bullet only moves to the right a little bit, like 87 millimeters 78 millimeters in 1,000 meters.
yeah, well, you're actually, the further north you go, the more that deflection occurs.
And it's and it's going to actually lift the bullet a little bit as well. But
Right.
because
You fire east, it goes.
that graph is the red line is the deflection from the direction of the bullet, the direction of aim of the bullet horizontally, and the blue line is the vertical displacement. And unfortunately, on the sights on my rifle when I go shoot that, that's only just a fraction over one click on the sights. for 87 minutes, for about 80 millimeters. I'm
We're doing
usually
kind of in England.
I'm usually working with something like 4 meters of windage adjustment.
Yeah, it's the same way with when they talk about how airplanes aren't affected by Coriolis, and they are. But was it you, Blue? Someone pointed out that flying from one of the routes they're talking about from Alaska to Mexico City, I think it was, that you would have to accelerate 470 miles in like 4 hours, which is, gets you to like the whopping 70 miles per hour acceleration. I mean, do that in your car and you'll just snap your head back, You go from 0 to 70 in an hour.
Oh yeah, just can't
snap your head back. No way.
Quite ridiculous.
Yeah, but the graph shows why shooters tend to not worry too. Rifle shooters tend to not worry too much
unless
about Coriolis, unless you're shooting at way over 1,000 meters.
Right, extreme distances, and extreme distances. You have to worry about snipers.
Yeah, and even then, when you can, compared with how much you got to throw in there for windage corrections.
Well, today's in case all you guys in Australia probably don't know, but today's the big game, the Super Bowl, and one of the things that the Flirts loves to talk about is Neil deGrasse Tyson and his famous moving the goalpost during the field goal kick. I did the calculations. The field goal would move 2 millimeters because of Coriolis. 2 millimeters.
Yeah, well, and like that's some of the stuff that Neil deGrasse Tyson says is not necessarily incorrect, but it's just made to be something that's going to get attention so that they listen to the other stuff that he's got to say.
Right, but I did the calculations, and if you're kicking directly north-south, and using, I guess I used 40 degrees, which is close to his latitude in New York, but it was 2 millimeters, and anytime the wind's blowing, the snap, the kick, all that stuff, and you're worried about 2 millimeters. I mean, this goes back to your minor effect things, and that's the thing. These guys don't understand scale.
Yeah. Oh God, no.
That's why these guys in Brandon's room are trying to build these mega structures that'll never freaking work.
Can we watch a video, Alan?
Yeah, as long as it's stupid, so that we're going to keep stopping it and talking about it, that's fine.
Well, we could have. Well, we've got the normal videos with Simon, Dan, and Everett's, a couple of Everett's, and I got one Everett, two Everett, and a Wally. I've got Simon there. I did have Team Skeptics paused, and I've got Planar Walks rewound back to the beginning of that guy. What's his name? Jason. We can jump through a bit of the stuff that he says is stupid, and I can stop that if you want.
Planar Walk is Kiwi, right?
Planar Walk, yeah, he's Kiwi. Okay, share screen.
Yeah, the Flat Earther never showed up to Team Skeptics.
I noticed that.
Yeah,
I noticed that.
Yeah. Oh, and I'm pretty sure Planar Walk's not going to give us a copyright strike for looking at
No, Planar Walk's okay. He's okay. I was hoping he'd be on Discord because a bit more often, because I join his show when he does it through there.
Yeah.
Well, this will be the start of it, so I don't know if this is an introduction or what it is with it.
Means you teach, and anybody can teach anything, except if you don't know anything about it, you can't really teach it because it's obvious. You'd be the person.
Did he just double speak?
If you didn't understand.
Oh my! Anybody can teach anything unless you don't know anything about it. Then it's obvious that you can't teach it.
The Flying Spaghetti Monster is an interest. You guys researched at all the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster?
Pastafarianism.
We'll have none of that heresy here.
It's pretty funny stuff. He basically is satirizing American fundamentalists.
Yeah, I'm going to say, but the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster is heresy here because we're all from the Church of the Cathode Follower.
Church of the what, please? I missed it.
Cathode Follower.
Gotcha.
All hail the Unity Game.
You have to be an electronics or radar person to understand all that.
Yeah.
I did see there's a join the resistance where everyone's sitting around going, "Oh,
yeah, yeah.
Join the resistance."
Yeah, that's
Resistance is futile.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that's important.
It's definitely important.
Okay, so
I always say, my saying is, if you completely and fully comprehend something, then you can explain it simply. You know.
Well,
So
yeah.
That's Jason.
But the thing,
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah,
Just stop a second. Even if you completely and utterly understand something, it still may be beyond the comprehension of people because the plain and simple explanation may not be that plain and simple.
Well, I'd like to say, if you fully understand something, you should be able to teach it to a 5-year-old. It might take you 12 years to teach them all that, but sure,
Yeah, okay. Yes,
I
do have all those. I do have all those useful books that I've got for educating flirts.
Yeah, but those are above flirt level.
Yeah. What are you saying that you go to the child and you go, well, this is an egg.
This is an egg, yeah. The experiment. I feel like Vincent Price whenever I do that. Exactly.
I'm just saying, like if I wanted to teach math to a 5-year-old, right? Like, you got to start somewhere. So, and you build on those concepts, and that takes time. And oh God, years later, they understand math. But it's not like you could teach advanced calculus to a 5-year-old, no matter how well you understand it.
Mute. I have actually just posted the link to a great textbook for educating FEs. Newtonian Physics, ellipsis, by Chris Ferry.
Yeah.
I did cherry pick the title a little bit because I wanted to leave the second half of it off because it is actually Newtonian Physics for babies.
Newtonian Physics for babies. It's relatively for babies too. It's written like a child's book. It's actually kind of fun.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got.
You have the other one. There's a couple serious books out there. It's like how to teach relativity to your dog and how to teach quantum mechanics to your dog.
Newtonian Physics for babies, general relativity for babies, quantum physics for babies, astrophysics, ABCs of biology, and ABCs.
The other ones were the ones I was seeing was written by this guy. He's basically his shtick is he's teaching it to his dog, who's a German Shepherd, of course. But he said that dogs would be better at like quantum because if like dog treats suddenly appeared from midair, dogs would think, hey, that's the way it should be.
Yes,
please. He was actually quite good about it.
God's trying to give you a hint,
Just play, Terry.
Yes, when I go, I have all my life I was a heliocentric believer. Yeah. Just like you. I said, this.
Well, he's bringing religion into it straight away with the believer type. Whatever you call it. Yeah. You're a believer.
This is real. This is my life. I suffered from what I have now diagnosed as a fanatic.
Oh, he's self-diagnosed.
This is what happens when you teach children, young children, like a 5-year-old, that they're on a ball. Because when you teach them that we're on a round spherical Earth, it has multiple implications that come with that, and mortality is instant. Mortality and
wait,
smallness.
I'm sorry. Can you
another
pause?
thing is
We're never gonna get through this. How does
No.
how does whether we're on a ball or a flat plane make us being mortal any different? We're mortal. That's a fact.
Because he believes that we terrify our children because we tell them that they could die at any moment, but because the Earth could get hit by a extinction level asteroid or comet.
Okay, even if there's no asteroids or comet, you could still die at any moment. This is one of those arguments that makes absolutely no sense to me. One of many.
You're assured that you're going to have to get off of this Earth because this Earth will end. That's that when you tell a child about heliocentric, the end game is you get to get off this Earth. Something's going to kill you. And what that does to a child is it breaks their mentality. And what I've seen so far, I've seen YOLO life syndrome and I've seen fanatic syndrome. Okay? When you tell someone, a human child, that they are teeny tiny and worthless and they're a speck of dust and they're powerless and they were an accident and you're lucky to even be alive and you're about to die at any moment, statistically, bro, why would you ever want to do anything? You know, when you have that much negativity and certainty that there's going to be an end with no means, you know, it's you're going to have to. That's an extraordinary amount of, you know, that's an extraordinary. It's like that's just a lot of input when you tell that one little thing, heliocentric. That's a lot of input. You know what I mean?
Well, when it comes to
am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Well, I feel like here there's the things of what you want to believe is true, like so you think there's a difference between reality and what people want to believe is true. Like you seem to want to believe that something is true based on how it affects people's psychology. Just because something is depressing or whatnot doesn't make it not true.
No, I know that. I understand that. And I was fully aware of that for 36 years. And as I said, I professed that to other people. I went around and I professed this thing and I feel bad about it, really, because, you know, when you hit somebody with some intelligence, how you measure intelligence in the heliocentric world is by how many different ways that you can die along with everybody else in this world instantly from some catastrophic. Yeah, it is. It is. If you watch Cosmos, the apex of the entire series, of all the series, was the five. The five apocalyptic. What do you know what it is, right?
Oh, the five. I wouldn't say that's really the apex of the series. The whole idea behind the series.
The whole thing. The whole thing was like, we have to stop this before we become number 5. Yeah, that was the apex. That was the pinnacle of the fucking entire thing. Was they made all the little series about all these deaths, all these cataclysmic fucking events, and then number 5 is if we don't fucking pay France $1 billion, if we don't give Iran trillions of dollars so they can build coal burning power plants, if we don't give China trillions of dollars, then we're going to suffer the same fate. That's what they said at the end, because climate change.
Well, that is
we gotta.
I mean, that is an issue no matter what side you're on. Even if the Earth is flat, then climate change is still an issue. You know?
You are absolutely correct. But it's not for the same reasons that we have.
What?
I mean,
let me ask you a question.
What? Okay.
I have a couple of questions I always have.
Pause. Okay. Not the same reasons. Climate change is... It's a different reason for climate change on flat Earth than what there is for us. Okay. I wonder if he's going to try to explain that one.
No.
I'll see it.
This is the one I want to write down.
What's your question?
My question is, do you know if we can be driving water-powered cars right now. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah,
We can't.
it's steam power.
Oh no, it's not. No, he means like burning water or something.
We had water powered cars.
Not steam. I don't think he's talking steam. Is he talking steam? If he is, he's an idiot.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Technically, that wouldn't be powered by the steam, though, would it? That would be powered.
No,
by
I don't think he's talking steam. I think he's talking like actually like putting water in your
Putting
gas
your
tank
petrol
and
tank, putting water in your tank and start your car.
Yeah, water in your petrol tank, right?
Yeah.
Well, you gotta do something to the water. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you want to put a shitload of energy and convert it into hydrogen and oxygen, you could, but yeah, that would take a bunch of energy.
Yeah, it
Right,
takes
yeah.
more energy to turn it into the hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah,
than it would back out.
Yeah,
again.
hydrogen, as we understand it, really isn't a fuel. It's like an energy transfer medium.
Yeah.
I have heard people saying about water-powered cars, but I'm not entirely sure how practical that is.
The other thing that's annoying me too is the flat earther just does not know how to orientate their cameras for video.
Yeah.
Oh no, he does it on purpose.
Oh, does he? Oh, jeez.
He does,
Yeah.
like he does all caps and no punctuation, all on purpose.
Oh,
Yep.
jeez.
Because he was on Tunes or somebody's, and he had it landscape, and he was like, "Oh, here, let me fix my camera," and he turned it that way. So he does it on purpose.
He does it on purpose. Jeez.
Yeah, what is the alternative? Do you think the alternative is practical? Drilling into the earth and extracting oil and then...
He jumps around, doesn't he? We were talking about the water-powered car a minute ago, and now he's talking about drilling into the earth.
purifying it and then turning it to CO2?
I think the alternative.
carbon dioxide?
I think that the alternative is the best alternative that we've got is electric cars.
No, that's not true. Hydrogen.
No? Oh, hydrogen. Oh, okay.
I honestly.
Hydrogen car is water. It's water. Hydrogen is water. They have a
No.
They have
Oh
a car.
God.
What?
No. Yeah, but not.
Yeah.
But it's not a direct comparison. Like you can't. Well, look what happened to
Electric
you.
cars do have a lot of drawbacks, though. Like I will say that.
He's American, so wouldn't he know about the hydrogen flop cars that happened in the 90s that they brought out and they all got recalled?
That would suggest that he knows something.
Because that was a big flop, wasn't it? That one.
Yes.
In the conspiracy world, there's a story about this guy that drove across country on one of these hydrogen cars and he perfected it and the government killed him or something. I don't know, something like that.
Yes, it was a fraud.
It goes around in the conspiracy group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a Ford.
It was a fraud. Yeah, that's why they go silenced him.
It was a fraud. He didn't actually. Yeah, he's.
Oh, you said fraud. I thought you said Ford.
No, he was a fraud. By the way, Terry, just whilst you paused, I'm going to say thank you very much and good night. In fact, I'm going to say thank you very much and good morning.
Okay, Farmer.
Yeah.
That's good to
It's
hear from you.
1:30 and yeah, well, I'll try and catch you again sometime, but I've got to go to bed.
Yeah, okay, mate.
Yeah.
See you tomorrow, Farmer.
Yep. Catch you later,
All
guys.
right.
Later,
Come on,
mate.
farmers.
See you again.
Bye. See ya.
Yeah, he's a busy man. Ever since he's starting to run this Amazon company, I hardly ever see him.
Yeah, we ought to call him Jeff. We ought to start calling him Jeff, oughtn't we?
Who?
Jeff, Jeff Bezos.
You lost me on that one.
Owns bloody Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, does he? Oh, okay. Well, you got more info than me about it.
The richest man in the world? Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
Name Robert.
They already have cars that can run off of hydrogen.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's a simple conversion. We could be driving water-powered cars right now. Yes or no? Yes or no? Seriously, I'm.
He's confused with the water part to the hydrogen part when it's not directly water. You don't just pour water in and then away you go.
We've had hydrogen cell cars. The problem is building the fill-up stations. And we've had steam-powered cars that have run on water, but they're not very efficient.
And
So-
the real interesting part is like 95% of the hydrogen in the world is made from methane or methane, as you guys say. It's not made from water. So it
I'm some
emits
kind of-
carbon anyway.
Well, couldn't you just have a cow and then he could just fart in your tank?
Dude, I literally can go out right now and design a system that turns water, tap water, into hydrogen.
Stop. You're going to have to excuse my language. That fucking idiot couldn't go out and design a fucking thing that was fucking technological.
You're allowed to swear, Alan. You know,
I was just going to go with, I want to see it.
And he couldn't do that if his fucking life depended upon it.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
wait.
he'd make a shitload of money if he could.
Yeah, but Alan, he gets the white belt out later. That's even worse.
I know.
Oh.
I saw.
And then siphons that hydrogen off the top and runs your fucking car. So if I'm so stupid,
What? Siphons the hydrogen off the top of what? The water?
I
Oh,
don't
no,
think
no,
he's
no.
ever had a chemistry class.
Yeah. What? Okay.
Like I'm bad at chemistry, but that just sounds wrong.
I get a glass of water and I can just siphon off the hydrogen off the top bit.
Yeah, there's a bit of chemistry that needs to go on there. That he has
Oh,
no
there's a
clue
bit in the
about.
middle of that he's missing out on. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's sort of like
You
it's sort
don't
of
just
like,
use a strainer.
it's sort of like the experiment where he says, I caused it. I put the salt in. I caused it.
This
Like,
one too.
I hear you, Blue. It's like saying I flipped the switch there, and therefore I caused the light to go on.
Oh, okay.
I mean, let's just say once more, it takes more energy to disassociate the hydrogen from the oxygen than you get from putting it back together again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a law of thermodynamics involved in that.
What?
But
No
if
way.
you
The
didn't,
law.
You would have a fucking perpetual
No, the second law of thermodynamics only says that you can't have atmosphere next to a
I'm talking
vacuum.
about the second law. I'm talking about the first law. Get your laws straight, goddammit.
That's the only law
Wait, there's more than one? I thought it was just the second law.
I thought it was just the second law. There's a first law and a third law?
And a zeroth law as well.
Actually,
isn't
zero
there?
law too.
Well, zeroth law, yeah, but okay.
Yeah, but laws are meant to be broken.
Right.
or geniuses
Yeah, like
should
the-
be able to figure that out, no?
I don't. Well, first off, I don't know too much about hydrogen cells, because that seems what you're describing.
Not hydrogen cells, not hydrogen cells. Again, you take the water, you put 2 electrodes in it. You use a battery, then you pump that and you run the engine that runs the alternator that charges the battery.
Okay,
You
well,
constantly have
Stop.
So
perpetual
you use-
motion.
you-
It is perpetual motion he's thinking of.
Stop.
So you
No,
put power
please.
into it, and you get more power out of it. Okay.
Then
You
it
know how
just
much hydrogen you'll
recycles
get?
it.
How much hydrogen you'll
Brian-
get from 12 volts?
You get a
Yeah.
trickle.
Yeah, Brian
Yeah.
Lakey's got one of
Little
these.
bitty tiny bubbles coming off your electrode.
Yeah, at 12 volts, you need a shitload more current than 12 volts DC off a battery. My God.
And he wants to run a car off that? Yeah.
Battery
Like I
itself will
said,
probably
I-
produce more hydrogen than the electrolysis will.
I just want to see it. Like if he's able to do it, like go ahead and do it.
They should get it to make a fan spin, and as the fan's spinning, it'll just create more current back into the system, and then perpetual motion. There you go.
You mean,
Ooh, the fan can blow into a sheet, and that can push the car.
no. You have a fan driving air around the
Donut?
toroidal tube,
Yeah, donut, yeah.
and then you put a load more turbine blades in there to
Power the generator. Alternator.
to drive generators.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because you only need.
Look, you
one
shouldn't be letting
fan
Ross
to
hear you
drive
say
it.
that, Alan. he might
So
have a
yeah, that is
copyright on that.
That is Rossi. That is Rossi. That is Brody's plan. He, he couldn't understand that the
Might
air
sue you for trying to steal
actually
his
go
idea.
all the way around the tube.
He's got copyright on that.
A hydrogen flow of it's a combustible gas that goes right into your engine, and the only things that would have to be changed is a couple of seals. I know that.
Well,
I know that. And why aren't we driving water cars? There's a reason I'm asking you.
There's probably
See what came up on the screen. This is an egg. I don't think he's looked into this properly. Like in theory, yes, for like the concept
No,
of
not
it.
even theory. No, not even theory. He's totally out to lunch. He doesn't understand shit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we better be very careful how we use the word theory today.
No. This he doesn't understand that what he's proposing is to electrolyze hydrogen from a battery and then burn the hydrogen to drive the car. No, not gonna work.
I think he does.
You'd have so much power in the battery that you might as well just drive the car off the battery.
Yeah, you might as well drive the car off the battery. It'll work for a while.
I mean, he's a vegan? Isn't that vegans' arguments that you get less energy out of the animal because the animal had to eat the plant to get the energy in the first place?
Yeah, that's what he does state later on about something about that. That's later on in
right.
it.
So, but the opposite works for batteries and chemical processes apparently.
We might have to do a bit of a jump. I don't know yet what he gets into.
It's way more deeper question. Can you figure out why I'm asking you this?
Well, when it comes to why we're not driving water cars, there could be a number of reasons. Like, it may not be...
Give me some good ones.
Well, I am not qualified to have this discussion, so it could be a number of reasons. Like, maybe it's not as practical as... maybe it's not as practical as you initially think. Maybe it sounds like a good idea in theory, but in reality, it turns out to be a horrible idea. There's been many of times when we've had horrible ideas.
Okay, well, you know what? I think you're a smart guy, and you think you're a smart guy. Why haven't you thought about this? It's world changing.
It's bullshit.
Why hasn't any scientist been able to engineer what I just said?
About this.
Well, I'm sure that scientists have been able to engineer what you've just said, and it's likely...
We should be driving water cars.
Well, it's likely that they've tried to engineer, but it's not been as practical as you think.
Maybe. It could be
anyway,
that oil companies have some kind of say-so in this, and that's why we're not. What about energy independence?
Also, can you pause it for a second? I just want to point out also that desalinating water also takes a ton of energy, and we need water for other things. Like, I don't know about Australia, but I know here in the U.S. we have in certain parts of the country problems with not having enough water in those areas because they were originally a desert. So.
Yeah, you got a lake over there. I don't know if it was a man-made lake or a natural lake that had dried up.
I think that was a man-made lake. Yeah.
Which one's this?
I can't think of the name of the place.
I forget the. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be a holiday resort for water skiing and all sorts.
Sea.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, the Salton Sea. It was made by mistake beginning. Yeah, and the problem is the water there is like all full of salts and stuff. So when it started drying up, it just got more and more salty, and now it's
But it used to be good in its heyday. The pictures I've seen, water skiing and
back in the 50s,
hotels and all sorts of things. Great holiday destination.
And the fact of the matter is, the patent office has got warehouses full of rejected, goofy-ass perpetual motion machines. And that's what they're essentially trying to come up with. That's why scientists don't look at it. That's why we don't pay any attention to this horseshit.
Well, they have looked at hydrogen cars, though, Blue. I mean, fuel cells are an interesting technology, but man, the last thing you want to do is be driving with a tank full of
Oh.
hydrogen in your car and get hit from behind or something. I mean, you talk about a bomb.
Yeah, fuel cells are for real, but it's not a perpetual motion machine.
Yeah.
They, from what I understood, they found a way to store it. I forget if how they were storing it, but they found a way to make it so that it wasn't as explosive as like the Hindenburg or something.
Well, what did those cars in the war drive on, Alan? That they used to put bags on their roofs or whatever it was to drive their cars.
LPG.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, well, I think it's actually when they had the big bags. I think it was actually town gas as it was called back then. So
Town gas, yeah.
basically gasified coal.
Hmm.
And they used to have a bag to hold it in, like a material bag or I don't know what it would have been made of, to hold the gas in it, to sit on top of their buses and cars or whatever.
I'm guessing it was rubberized silk.
Okay.
Or rubberized linen would do.
Okay, nothing like driving around with a bag full of flammable gas on your roof.
That's what I was just leading to that bit.
Well, actually, if you think about it, it's not that bad because it's not mixed. It's not mixed with air. It's not mixed with oxygen. So it's flammable, not explosive at that point.
Okay, so it won't blow up; it'll just burn. Okay.
And yeah, and remember, it's sitting on the top, and it'll burn, and the fireball will probably go up. So actually, it's not a bad place to put the big bag of gas, is it?
No, but still, nothing like having a Hindenburg on top of your car,
And knowing about knowing how car engines worked back in the day, the lead additive, the lead in the petrol, the engines mustn't have been very good, lasted very long. Well, depending on the mileage.
I read about the guy who invented tetraethyl lead. He was an interesting dude. He also invented. Let's see. He invented like several bad things. I gotta look into this guy.
To burn coal to get energy?
Ethyl tetra lead, wasn't it?
Well, because back in the day, Thomas Midgley Jr. Yeah, he developed the tetraethyl lead, and he also developed CFCs.
That was it.
So he invented two really bad things for the environment.
Yeah.
And the whole thing about tetraethyl lead is the reason that they put it in is because they knew that at the time they put in ethanol, then it would do the same thing, but you couldn't patent ethanol.
Okay. And they didn't have the technology back then to even figure out what for the engine to ping and wear out the valves and everything for the non-leaded when they first developed engines anyway.
Anti-knock agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I run a lead additive in my wagon. It's just a drip fed system. That it's just at the bottom of the Ventura below the butterfly.
So this one guy invented two of the most poisonous two of the most deadly substances ever invented by man. Two of the things that turned out to be really big environmental problems. He invented both of them.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes you're on a roll.
I think that there are better ways of getting energy than burning coal these days.
So if you think that, why haven't scientists figured that out?
I mean, they have figured that out. That's why we've got solar panels.
No, energy independence. Exactly. You're onto something. But why haven't we fucking taken like Kansas or the equivalent of Kansas where you're from and just filled it with fucking solar panels and gardens and power the entire country?
That's a lot of gardens would need watering and a lot of solar panels.
Yeah, well, first of all, yeah, the the solar array that you're going to have to build is massive. Now they've thought about doing it in like cities like New York, where you would put on top of all of the buildings solar panels and stuff like that. The biggest problem with solar energy right now is we are really bad at storing the energy.
Yeah.
The solar panels aren't the most efficient either, but I mean, even if they were more efficient, we're really bad at storing that energy.
There's one problem with solar panels. They only work during the daytime.
Well, yeah. So they're really good when the sun is out, right? So as long as you don't have clouds and it's daytime.
And if you've ever lived in like I don't know, somewhere like Michigan or the Northeast, where you always realize that it's cloudy a lot of the time, like all freaking winter.
Yeah. So certain areas could take use of it for a certain amount of their energy, but you're not going to store up enough energy to keep everything constantly running on that.
I've used solar panels for charging or topping up, should I say, high capacity lead acid batteries, and they work really. I mean, we're talking in the mid 2000s, and they were, even then they worked really well. You got output from them even on a fairly dark, thick, overcast day. But yeah, they're not going to they're not it's not going to be easy to just use solar panels, because like I say, storing electricity is really, really difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the easiest way of storing electricity is pumped hydro.
Yeah, I mean, but you still have to basically make a giant battery somewhere that absorbs that energy and can hold it.
Yeah, so like I say,
well, the thing about
a bloody great big reservoir and pumps.
As I understand, the solar panels don't make enough energy.
Blue's a bit quiet to hear, so if you don't talk over him, if you can.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear him. Go ahead, Blue.
I was just agreeing with what Alan said. I mean, you can use the energy when it's available to pump water into a reservoir and then recover the energy with a generator, a turbine following that. But the fact of the matter is, there is no single form of renewable energy as we know it, other than the potential and sporadic possibility of geothermal that fits the bill at all times of the day or night. I mean, there are times when the sun's not shining. There are times when the wind is not blowing, and what do you do during those times when the sun's not shining and the damn wind's not blowing either one? Okay. You got some issues. And it's going to be really, really hard to get people to adapt to that. We're used to turning the switch on and seeing the lights come on whenever the hell we feel like it.
You might have to pay somebody to sit out in the back shed to pedal a bicycle to generate electricity.
Yeah, and we can build giant dams and run those when we need them, but those cause changes to the ecology, so there's effects on those too.
Yeah.
Well, hasn't Russia, somewhere over in Russia, they use geothermal steam all through the system, all through pipes or something for heating?
Yeah.
Iceland, is it?
Select places, and Iceland's an ideal place for it, but it only happens in certain spots.
Wow. So maybe it might be only developed for local areas, like depending on your locality. Like they're right with that, and you got plenty of places with 24 hours, not 24-hour sun, but sunlight, daylight, enough hours of the day. Well, yeah, you'd use solar panels for those areas, and batteries are the other.
Set solar panels up on Antarctica.
Yeah, 24-hour sun there.
There are other oddball, renewable sources like it's called bagasse, but it's really a funny name for sugar cane. and you can grow that stuff and harvest quite often in certain climates, and then burn that in conventional, steam turbine generator applications.
Mm-hmm.
I worked on a few of those projects over the years, and so you've got those sorts of opportunities too. But again, there is no single renewable energy source that's ever going to solve the problem.
No.
You got to look at all of it.
Yeah.
And everybody gets free electricity.
Well,
and then with that electricity, you power your hydrogen conversion system at the house, and then you put hydrogen in your car, and you can have free gas, free electricity.
I think you've just identified the problem. You got because a few people in.
Well, yeah, you generate the electricity with having solar panels, and that goes into the batteries, and then you use the batteries to create your hydrogen out of your water. He's got the basics of the idea, but yeah, okay.
In the chat are trying to say that that it takes more energy input than the output provides for the hydrogen things. But anyway,
if you're using solar panels, and listen, if you're using solar panels, no problem.
Well, then why not just have a solar panel car?
A solar panel car, because they're not powerful enough. You have to have a large array of solar panels to make power. That's sufficient.
What?
Solar panel car isn't powerful enough, but it's powerful enough to charge a battery to break down the water.
Yeah, we had the solar panel challenge over here where they do it every now and again. He did it 100 kilometres an hour. It was able to go at the speed, and it was a solar powered thing. They won the challenge for that. Only because it was a daylight time heat. Northern Territory, I think they did it over there somewhere.
Charge a home battery bank.
But like
solar roads. Why don't we have solar roads?
Well,
oh god,
solar roads.
Ask Thunderfoot.
We drive on solar roads. Okay, so all the roads are solar panels.
Yeah, they tried that. It had problems powering an LED.
Okay.
Firstly, the reason why we don't have solar panels everywhere is because it's taken a while to develop these technologies, and these days these technologies are fairly well advanced. So you can put solar panels in all sorts of places and wind turbines. It's fairly cheaper than coal, and a lot of places they are phasing out coal plants. A lot of places are doing that, and it's just it's just a matter of time.
Which is so stupid, huh?
Well, it does take time for all these things, but it would be
nice
to.
You know what doesn't take time? Like to get $90 trillion to get a fucking military going.
I mean, that is an issue, but it's another issue.
Why can't we just fund? If we're going over to kill people for their oil, why the fuck don't we just take that money and all that metal that makes tanks and all that sophistication that makes F-16s? Why don't we just take that and make a big giant solar panel? You know that you can have a fucking very tiny plot of solar panels and it can literally power the entire country.
I'm not sure if that's true or not.
I am sure, because I worked 12 years in the renewable industry.
Okay, let's get back to our topic. So, why is it again that you don't think that the Earth is a globe? Like, what evidence do you have?
When you say your evidence for it is a globe, then we can get into the discussion. See, if you want to beat around the bush, if you want to test your intelligence, then you can tell me the experiment that proves the curvature or the the ballness of the Earth. Tell me exactly what the experiment is, and when you can guess around, blah blah blah, or we can just say it, whatever you want.
Okay.
That's a typical flat Earth tactic, isn't it? We have to prove that the Earth's a globe. They won't prove that the Earth is flat.
Yeah, and they won't accept anything that you tell them. So I mean it doesn't matter what you tell them. Like it's just a way for them not to have any responsibility, right? Like, I mean, it'd be like me asking you a question, you going, oh no, you have to show me your side first, and then I go, okay, well I have this right here that shows that, and you go, well that doesn't count because of whatever thing you think of off the top of your head.
What's this guy's name? Sean wants to know who's this guy.
Jason.
Jason, okay. He's been on McToon's, Sean, as well. McToon debated him a while back. Oh, about a month
MC
ago.
Toon and FTFE and Planar Walk.
Give me a few seconds to bring something up.
Yeah, give me a few seconds too. I'm gonna try to light my fires. Maybe he's still
What
there.
do you say? He's going to light his fire.
Here we go. This is the
He's going to try to light fire. I'd like to hear his method of doing that. If he's a conservationist in the energy field, rub two sticks together.
He breaks down the oxygen and ignites.
No, rub two sticks together, wouldn't he? That's his way of doing something economical for energy. So you don't have to light a match or use gas lighter or.
Yeah, but wood burning is terrible for the environment.
Mm.
And we're going to copy this.
He's burning environmentally friendly combustibles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My favourite evidence.
Favorite evidence.
Yep. Main reason is because it was actually taken by a flat earther. That.
Are you gonna put it? I can see it.
Yeah, I'm just going to.
Sean says fire is fake.
So when you get back, I'll explain what this is.
We'll get Sean on camera with the cigarette lighter and go, Sean, stick your finger over the flame and then show me it's fake.
And how's it going in the chat, by the way? I've gotten a few super chats from FTFE and one from Mission. This is honestly my favourite. Yeah, I will try to get him to stick to topic a bit more, you know.
From somebody else, not you. You don't know if they manipulated this photo. You can't tell me 100% they haven't or have.
Well, if they...
You cannot.
If they manipulated this...
The bottom is cut off. The bottom is cut off.
If they manipulated
I'm
this...
buildings.
Well,
I'm seeing buildings there. Why would
this
I be
was
seeing
a
buildings
flat
there?
earther who took this photo.
I understand that.
So,
why would I see buildings if I'm 100 miles away? Why would I see buildings on the shore?
So the reason why is because they are 20 miles away from the buildings. Mount San Jacinto, the mountain in the distance, is 123 miles away, not the buildings. The buildings are only 20 miles away.
So that's like 200 and something feet of curvature they're supposed to be.
I'm not sure.
Is any of those buildings? Is any of those buildings? Is any of those buildings? Where is this?
This is in. I think this is Miami or something. Or
not that it matters. Not that this is scientific experimentation. Just to entertain and explain what's happening. But eventually we're going to get to the boat goes over the sunset, right? That's what you use in observations instead of science. So the thing about observations is they're open for interpretation. If you observe one thing, you've been taught one particular way all your life, you're going to think of it that way. Yeah, you see, if you put a cartoon over a thing, a picture from somebody else. You know, I'm not trying to hate on you. I'm just saying it's just not.
Did you mute it?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Yeah, I was muted, sorry. I just wanted to pick up on the bit that he said about being taught all your life stuff. That's not... I don't know what he means by that. He's not explaining that, what you're being taught all your life.
He's just trying to say that since you know, we're always told that the Earth is a globe, that when we make observations, we're going to automatically align those with the globe instead of with the flat Earth. It's that stupid argument. I mean, and it goes back to what we were saying at the beginning, where you know it doesn't matter if what we're taught or what we believe when we make measurements, when we take observations and apply critical thinking to them. You know, it'll show one or the other.
So I'm going back to even thinking when I was at school, the bit about the Earth being a globe or whatever wasn't a main constituent in your education. There's other aspects.
It really wasn't.
There was other aspects of your education at school that was there as well. So I don't know.
I think it came up. Yeah, I was gonna say I think it came up a couple times in like science when we were learning about like planets in the solar system, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a main thing of your schooling. So, what about your other bits of your education? That flat earthers don't seem to pick on any of that. The other things that you're taught at school.
Not, we need science, man. That's all I'm saying, and everybody seems to fucking hate me for it, is I live naturally, and I want proper science experiments.
So when it comes to this is something that is at least partially scientific. Like part of the scientific method is observations, right? And and
where's the controlled environment?
Wait, what was that noise?
He went. What you can't? He's questioning the observation part of it.
Yeah, isn't that like step 1 or 2 is make an observation?
Does taste and hearing as well as observing count as part of the scientific method? If you hear something or taste it or smell it or
I mean
feel
that could be an observation. It doesn't have to be a visual observation.
Entire time, what's the humidity? What's the smog rate? What's the visual?
They used an infrared camera, which does
Don't get mad
reduce.
About this. Don't get mad. Do not get mad. I'm trying to be scientific. You understand?
Yeah,
Science is a bitch, man. It is a bitch. You have to fucking abide.
They use an infrared camera. Infrared cameras are subject to much less refraction than what
What's the
light-based-
name brand?
And what
the name brand? The serial.
Oh, jeez. Wants to know the brand name and everything, and where he bought it from. Was it on sale? Okay.
Who assembled it? Which Chinese woman assembled it?
Okay. What was the name of the salesperson that sold it to you? How did you bring it home?
Serial number.
Yeah,
the zoom lens.
He likes to do this thing where he wants all these minutia details, like it's gonna make that big of a difference on the picture or whatever.
Pip said, "Why can't I hear nothing?"
Probably because you were muted for a little while.
Oh, I was muted for a second when I couldn't speak. Yeah, and I had it paused.
Yeah.
That's
because nothing doesn't make any sound.
The refraction. I'm telling you that this has to be science, man. This is not science, no. If you want to talk about science, then everything needs to be accounted for. It's called. You have to be scientific about it. That doesn't mean you can be nonchalant, does it? Let's explain this. When I say you have to be scientific, that means you have to reduce every error to a 0. If you say I'm going to be scientific, that doesn't mean
no. You don't understand. You don't understand. You don't. You can't.
Why do you say that?
You can never reduce every. Firstly, you can never.
If you just want to say more than a couple of words, I'll pause it.
You can never reduce every.
No.
You can never reduce. You can never reduce every confounding variable to a 0. The best that
Would
you can.
you try?
Sometimes you
But
can.
you try. Nah, you just don't give a shit, bro. You got to try to reduce every variable that is affecting the scientific experiment to a 0.
No, you can't.
Yes,
you can never do that. You can
Tell me one science experiment that you can't do that.
Like when you actually go
I got
into.
it right here. I can explain a science experiment.
When you go when you go outside, there's a lot of variables like wind and all that can never be reduced to a 0. The best that you can do is account for those variables.
Yes, it sure can.
Guy's a
You sure
moron.
can. Why
How do you reduce
variables like wind?
How would you reduce
How
wind
could you
to
possibly-
0? How would you reduce wind to 0?
Vacuum chamber.
You're going
And
to.
also oh man, don't do the fucking laughing thing. I thought you were going to be different.
Do you think that you can take an observation like this at 123 miles away in a vacuum chamber?
No, you only need 6 miles to disprove curvature.
Do you think that we're going to really have a vacuum chamber that's 6 miles long? Oh,
Are you kidding me? Hey, how long is Exxon Valdez pipeline?
you do realize that.
Answer that question. Answer that question. How long is the Exxon? No, not the Exxon. What was this new pipeline that stretches from from fucking Canada all the way to the bottom of America? What is that pipeline?
Okay, so
pause real quick.
I don't know how long that pipeline.
The pipeline that he's talking about was trying to be built, but was never finished.
What's the pipeline got to do with the vacuum? Pipelines are full of oil or something.
Right. Well, I think the argument that he's trying to make is that it's a really long tube, and so you could make the observation in the really long tube. Unfortunately,
I don't think it's level and I don't think it's laid level and flat along the ground, isn't it? It goes up a little bit and down a bit, and
yeah, no, they don't care about it being level and flat. They just care about it moving the oil or whatever they've got to move through it as quickly as possible to wherever they've got to move it to.
Yeah. Good, Mike. Yeah.
Well, no, you're laughing because you don't think people can create 6 miles of pipe. This is what you're fucking laughing.
No, I'm laughing because the condition. Like, firstly,
I'm not talking about looking at this mountain. I'm talking about producing a scientific experiment which is capable of happening in a 6-mile pipeline.
Yeah,
if you would stop giggling like a fucking retard, I would show you.
Okay.
Stop that giggling shit. You're getting nervous and you're giggling. Stop it.
So I'm
rude.
back to
Very rude. Don't be rude like them, man. Don't do that.
Sorry, you just said something that was just absolutely hilarious, and
well, tell me, explain it to me.
Okay, so
it was hilarious.
So, firstly, there's a reason why we take observations over water, and the reason
I want to hear the funny part. I want to be in part of the
joke.
So, the reason why we take observations over water is because water. Flat earthers say that water naturally seeks its.
And then he'll yell at you for interrupting.
So it's usually used as some kind of.
No, that's what everybody says, though. That's not what flat earthers say. That's what science and physics says. I don't
actually, I actually say that water will conform to the shape of the forces that are acting upon it.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
But flat earthers will say that.
What if the force acting upon the water is the atmosphere?
I mean, that is a force that is acting upon the water, and that's what stops it from evaporating, evaporating away in. Well, no, gravity is also a force that's acting upon it, but it's a force that is stopping it from evaporating.
So it can't.
I mean,
we need to get past a whole bunch of stuff. But look here,
firstly, let's get.
Can we agree that there's pipelines?
I mean,
Can we agree that there's pipelines and we can make pipelines, large pipes for? Look, that's way more than 6 miles right there. See that?
So, I mean, there's a couple of problems with using a pipeline.
Because there's other things we need to talk about.
Well, there's a couple of problems with. Well, there's a couple of problems with using pipelines. Firstly, no one's going to use usually pipelines will have other uses, like, pumping oil or whatnot.
This is specifically for this. Okay, no, this one will be created specifically.
Like, no one's going to fund that. No one.
I'm funding NASA right now, so we take NASA's budget and we make a pipeline.
You're not.
He's funding NASA, is he? Jeez, he must have a lot of money. He must be rich.
Going to be able
zillions of dollars.
You're not going to be able to.
Do you want to prove the curvature of Earth scientifically and fucking validate everything?
It's already been done. Like this is an observation that shows the curvature of the Earth.
It's an observation. That's not good in science. That's why it's referred to as theoretical.
There are multiple observations.
It's not good in science.
There are multiple observations which do this. I can bring up one from.
I know every observation is going to be a simple observation, nothing more. It's not going to be scientific.
Multiple observations add to your evidence. Surely you.
Yeah, you can observe all of it, but it's not scientific evidence. It's just hearsay evidence, which is admissible in court.
It is scientific evidence though, because it's been done multiple times. Like, repeatability is a key part of the scientific method.
Yes, you could just see the same thing. That doesn't make it scientific.
Pip's going to bed. She's saying thanks, Alan.
You have to have a scientific parameters. Looking at a sunset does not justify. It's a observation which is open for interpretation, which is interpreted even better on a flat stationary Earth.
Well, no.
I don't even use observations. Yeah, we could use observations all day to destroy the globe, but I am not going to. I don't do that. I want to talk about why we don't have everything you believe in is theoretical. And it all can change if you did this science experiment right here. Do you want to hear about the science experiment?
What is the science?
And you can verify every step. You can verify every step.
Let's see what your science experiment is.
All right. You know what? Even better. I got the board. There's the board.
Get a
whiteboard.
He's got to get a whiteboard.
Hey, is it a whiteboard or is it another board?
I love whiteboards.
Please
It's
tell me.
very fast.
Once before, was it on McToon's? He just had a notepad with pen, just drawing on it, and pages. He's flipping through it. I remember that one. Well, whiteboards. He's advanced to the whiteboard. Okay.
Very simple. And you will be agreeing upon it or disagreeing upon it the whole time. So, in order to prove the curvature of the Earth scientifically,
And if you put your camera around the other way,
you're
we'll
going
be
to
able to
build
see your
a
whiteboard better.
6-mile long
What is whiteboard?
pipeline. Dude, I thought I messed up. I used a permanent marker the other day. So I messed it up. Okay?
He used a permanent marker on a whiteboard. That's a good one.
6-mile pipeline. Let's make this thing huge, okay? Since we got NASA's budget, we can make this thing huge, okay? And it'll still be trillions of dollars cheap. Let's make this thing 20 feet. 20 feet. Okay? Can you see that?
I'd like to know how he's going to technically make
appreciate
this
it. I appreciate
level
you
and
hanging
flat
on, buddy.
for the distance that he wants to have this pipe.
Can you see the whole thing? I want you to see everything.
Well,
I
he's
want you
gonna
to
do
know,
it
you know?
by
I can see it.
and
I have to put my phone like that.
Yeah, but that's probably better. Okay.
That's the part I'd like to hear him explain.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to do this too many more times or not. Look,
Oh, he
okay,
turned
this
his
way
camera
is-
around the right way.
Let's make
Oh,
this
he does
a
know.
good old even.
Oh, you're really stretching there. I don't know if the NASA budget would be able to handle that.
10 miles of metal. There's literally fucking thousands of miles of pipe. We're good. Don't worry about this. This is super cheap. This is dirt cheap. Matter of fact, we're going to make this 5 inches thick.
That's not to scale. Put
Super
NTC
thick,
at the bottom
so
in
we
the
can
corner
pull
there,
back and
mate.
do whatever we want.
I
Are we
mean
okay with
NTS,
parameters
sorry.
here?
Yeah,
Or do you
yeah.
want me to look up the price of metal? And
Don't
literally get it?
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Like, just keep on,
Okay.
just continue.
So do you agree on this?
Oh, I think that this is going to be very, very hard to be able to even like get started. So,
How do you mean?
well, firstly, I don't know how you're going to even lobby like the U.S. government to say, okay, build this pipeline to prove the Earth is a globe.
Are you kidding me? So you can take everything that's theoretical and erase the theoretical part and just have law of gravity, law of Big Bang, law of dark energy, law,
What? No,
law instead
no,
of theoretical.
no.
Well, you did.
theory.
What's that, Shil?
No, laws and theories are different.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do you know
Also,
what
there
theory
is a law of gravity.
means?
Theory.
Do you know what theory means?
Yes, let's go through this. Let's go through this. Do you know what a compound word means?
Yes, I do know what a
Before we go
compound
there.
word
Oh,
means.
shit.
Okay, well, a compound word,
Where's
for
he
the
going?
audience and people that don't know what a compound word is, it's when you take two words and you combine
pretty
them
sure they
with
know
a
what
little ash.
I'm pretty sure they know what
I'm
a
pretty sure
compound-
they don't. I've explained this
word means.
100 times. These people, whew. Okay. Anyway, two words with two separate meanings are combined with a little dash in between. You have to have the dash, boom, or they have to be literally connected together. Yeah, dash or connected together. That is indication of a compound word, which has one definition
Like flat and earther.
from the dictionary, from all the combined dictionaries. Yeah. So when you say
Synonymous with
scientific
dumbass.
theory,
Yeah.
you're not saying one word. You are saying two different words.
I mean, it's a compound word, isn't it?
It is not a compound word. You have to have the dash, or they have
It's
to be
not a
What?
compound
together.
word.
In the dictionary, they have to
It's
have a definition. You will not find
Yeah.
a definition for
It's-
scientific theory.
scientific theory is not a compound word, but it is a phrase that has a specific meaning.
Exactly.
Theory in the dictionary because it's two separate words. It is not a compound word.
Well,
So it doesn't mean different shit when you put scientific or conspiracy.
hold on.
The N word
Yes, it
is
does.
theoretical, which means only in your mind because it hasn't been proven
Wrong.
to you
Okay, so
or
I
anybody.
here have a
Wrong.
book,
Oh, he doesn't
right?
know what a scientific theory is.
And the book.
Is it a dictionary?
No, it's a Bible. I have.
I got that too. I got some stuff for you. Blow mine on that one.
Don't worry, I'm not down for debating the Bible today. But here I've got a book in my hand. You probably can't.
Got it
Oh, wait,
all. Uh-huh.
you can't see it because I'm not sharing my camera. But right, this book has pages in there. Now, if I have an electronic book, that is a completely different thing to a book, right? there's a great Vsauce video on this where he talks about I can't remember the type of word, but you basically add another word before something, and that completely changes the definition of what you're talking about. When I say
it changes the context, but it doesn't change the meaning of the word.
yes, it does. An electronic book is not a book.
No, it sure doesn't. It sure doesn't. It sure doesn't.
Is an electronic book a book? Like
You can fight this all you want to, but I'm just literally just.
He's not going to answer him.
Like, if
I'm
I
just literally sticking to the rules. You
But-
get mad
No,
about it,
God,
you get mad
no.
at me, and then you fucking laugh. But I'm literally just sticking to the fucking rules. It's not a compound word with one definition. It is two words. The first word is scientific. The second word is fairy fucking tale.
Okay,
Set
so
statements
I've
or
literally,
ideas.
No,
hold on,
no,
I've literally,
stop.
Can we
I've
back
literally got the hold on, I've literally got the definition of the word book pulled up here.
Sorry.
No, the scientific theory has a specific meaning, which is not what is meant in common discussion of the word theory. Common discussion of the word theory means, some fairy tale you make up. A scientific theory is a very definite thing. This guy's just a loser.
A written or printed work consisting of pages glued or sewn together along one side and bound in covers. An electronic
So
book.
when you say electronic book, you're putting two different words. You have to, if you're just saying book, you're talking about paper. If you're talking about electronic book, which is fucking two different fucking words, you're talking about a different thing.
And when I'm talking about scientific theory, I'm not talking about the casual
Talking
definition
about an
of theory.
idea that is scientific in nature.
No, it's a theory that has been rigorously tested.
Star Trek is a scientific theory.
No, it's
they
not.
They theorize some
No.
bullshit and they say a bunch of scientific things. They use
No, it's not.
scientifically theorized-
No, it's not.
Yes, it is, buddy. So
No,
it's
it's
Star
not.
Wars. With Star Wars.
No.
Science
It's not.
fiction.
Science fiction is okay. Star Trek, Star Wars, all that. Yeah.
You want to get back to the actual scientific experiment that would prove curvature or flat?
Well, there's problems with your experiment. Firstly, where are you going to get the funding for this experiment?
We got it.
No, we
got
don't.
it. This is
Pretend.
not an actual experiment. This is not an actual experiment. We're theorizing right now. This is called a theory. This is going to be a scientific theory.
No, it's not.
Afterwards.
Like, so
Yeah, it will be. It's a set of ideas. Is this not a set of statements or
okay,
ideas?
let's get
Okay,
back.
but listen, dude. Is this a set of statements or ideas?
It's an
It's a set
idea.
of statements. It is an idea then. It is a theoretical hypothesis.
It's a hypothesis,
Okay.
not a theory.
There we go. It's a theory.
No, it's
a
not.
set of
A
statements.
hypothesis is not a theory. A theory and hypothesis.
Everything in here. When I talk
dear.
about everything in here, it will be validated by scientific law, which will make this a scientific theory.
Well, the problem you're gonna have.
Can I answer a bit of that? To do with the experiment, there's laws that go into it that might make a law on its own.
Yeah.
This guy's just speaking out this word salad and has no idea what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, laws and theories are very different.
Yeah.
One cannot be the other.
Yeah, but laws go into what he's trying to do, not the overall thing that he's doing is going to be a law, can be a law.
With even getting that built. That's why I prefer to go with observations that have already
my
been made,
God, dude.
rather
How much
than.
money is given to NASA?
Do you think you're ever
much
going to be
money
able
is
to
given to
convince NASA to build that? Do you really think that you're going to convince NASA to build?
Have you seen the government? Have you seen the state of the government? Nobody is into the government at all anymore, dude. I gotta tell you. Do you like your government? You're from New Zealand, dude. I watched your fucking leader, prime minister, whatever the fuck you guys have, walk down the hallway with her fucking thing waggling between his legs, bro. Your government is just as garbage as everybody else's government, and nobody likes it anymore.
So
it would be nice to have a scientific experiment that proves the theoretical concepts that I'm forced to pay for through my taxes.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to convince them to build this 10-mile
I'm not
long
convinced.
pipeline.
This is a theoretical concept. So theoretically, we can make this any size we want to. But it's
You're
really
not going to
conservative.
get. You're not going to. You're not going to
I'll fund it my fucking
convince.
self, dude. I'll fund it myself.
Then go
It's
do
not
it.
that expensive. Okay, let's run through it. Make sure it's
No,
scientific.
go do it. Like actually,
Let's run through it. Why are you
build it.
scared?
Just actually
I
build
will.
it.
Let's get the fucking parameters straight, guy. Let's do it. Come on. I want to make sure that it's corrected by your standards.
Like, show me that you've got the funding to be able to do this.
Oh, you weak, dude. Let's talk about this. Okay. Anyway, so we got 10 miles, we got a 5-inch, we got a 20-inch. We're going to put some kind of liquid in here. Yeah? What do you think? Maybe some water? Do you think water would be suitable? Maybe some saline, saline water. What do you think?
You do realize that that's
The
just
fuck?
not going to work. You
Say a
plan to
vacuum.
make this a vacuum, right?
I might.
you have
No,
a
I know.
vacuum
The
sealing
vacuum
water.
chamber is just it's not all the time going to pull vacuum chamber. The vacuum part of it means you can vacuum particular atmosphere out, and you can have particular atmosphere.
Does he know what a vacuum
Like, what
chamber
do you mean?
is?
No.
What's he going to do? Vacuum out a particular part of the atmosphere?
Yeah, he's gonna vacuum out the water apparently.
Okay, we'll just vacuum part of it out. Okay. I don't know
Vacuum
which part.
I mean, you
atmosphere out,
can use a vacuum
You can put
chamber
hydrogen
to make
if you want
different
hydrogen
level.
only, or you can put fucking carbon dioxide. You understand?
Like, why would you?
No.
Because you are doing a science experiment, there is endless opportunities. You change the environment, you change the parameters. It's a nice experiment. Every scientist would agree.
Like,
I don't understand why you're fucking laughing.
no.
and giggling.
What?
Is AB Science would AB Science happen to be in the chat? Because we can get his opinion on that. Like,
Fucking get him on. Get him on. Get him on the call.
I don't know if he's in the chat. Like, I'd have. If anyone sees AB Science in the chat,
Okay.
let me know. Because he is an actual scientist. Like, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah, smart
getting
one.
back.
Yeah, he is.
Okay. Let's get back. Yeah, let's get back. Yeah.
Let's get back to like something that we can actually something that's already been done rather than something.
Oh, let's talk about more observation.
Well, observations are science. Like observations are part of the science.
No, not. You're
Yes.
going to observe this. This is what you observe.
Do you-
That's the only fucking time you observe, dude. The
Have you
boat
ever
going
done
over the
science?
curve
Have you-
is not observation.
Have you ever done
I
science?
can explain that to you too. You want to come back to that? Because actually, we shouldn't be even talking about this. You are not allowed to.
Actually.
Okay. Well, come back to me with that once you've built that pipeline. And we'll...
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dude, don't even worry about that. Let's look at now. I'm gonna hand it to you. Eratosthenes is your response when I say, "What is your scientific?"
Well, I've never brought up
No.
I've never brought up Eratosthenes in this entire. No, it's because this what I've got on my screen is really good.
You got an
evidence.
observation. That's garbage.
Well, firstly,
It's garbage.
It's
It's garbage. It's
It was
garbage. It's an observation. I don't accept it. Nobody accepts it. That's why you're theoretical.
People do accept it. Like this was used as
No,
flat
yeah,
earthers
you
until
people
they realized that
accepting
they
it does not
touched the
make it
maps.
real. You people expect it. You accepting a fucking photo from who the fuck
We're
knows?
going to be playing this for hours because this went on for hours. This interview.
Yeah, no, that's how
You brought
Jason is.
Eratosthenes. You brought Eratosthenes. Really? 4 hours of this shit? How did you plan to walk through this without?
I don't know how
Pulling
long
his
it went
brain.
for. It's got 6 hours here.
Oh my god.
Oh God, it went on for that long?
Yeah, I got 6. Well, I don't know if he was there the whole time, but I'm just skimming through the.
You brought up Eratosthenes. I wish some flat Earth would actually do the Eratosthenes experiment.
That would be doing something.
And it would be doing something. It would also be proving that the Earth is not a flat plane. Because the
Okay.
Eratosthenes. Yeah, Blue did it. Blue and Doc. We should call it the Eratosthenes experiment. We'll call it the Bob Blue experiment or the Blue Bob experiment.
Blue Bob.
Blue
Oh,
Bob.
Blue Bob did.
Because they actually did it. I mean, they put a video
Yeah.
out on it.
Well, okay.
I mean, a bunch of people have done it.
we've
Yeah,
got
kids do
something
it
else.
all the time. There's a Facebook page where they do it, the measurements,
Yeah.
and they
Oh, it's
get
been
pretty
done.
close. They get within 5%, but that's not bad for.
It's been done millions of times.
Yeah, that's not bad for middle school students. Yeah?
Yeah, but did
It's,
you
it's,
calibrate?
it's also not our best, measurement or sign
No,
of.
but it gets away from the horizon and all the other bullshit they've come up with.
Yeah,
They
but
haven't
did
come
you
up
just
with a real-
calibrate your stick before you use?
You don't have to
study?
calibrate the stick. No, you don't have to calibrate your stick. No, sorry.
I got within 30 miles. That's a 0.1%.
Yeah, you did well.
That's damn good.
Eratosthenes
Yeah, but they always
experiment,
say,
they'll put
prove to me that
thousands,
Eratosthenes exists.
thousands,
And I go,
hundreds
I
of
don't
miles
have
into the
to.
fucking sky, bypassing all the
It
atmosphere.
doesn't matter if he existed.
If you
We
were to
have
make
other
that
people who've
correct,
done
that
it.
little stick
It's
would be
correct.
teeny
We have-
tiny,
we
teeny
have this
tiny,
experiment.
and that
You
blue
can do
part
it.
would be the atmosphere, and then it would bend before it came in because it's on an angle a little bit, and it would actually it would fuck up your measurement down.
Oh my God, you're right. I'm gonna have to open up Blender and make a 3D representation of the Earth that's everything is 100% to scale, and
This is the thing, they don't
why
understand.
would you do that? Look.
because it would take ages.
Watch. This doesn't take ages to understand, and you can verify. As soon as it comes in, Snell's law comes into play. It's no longer a
Snail's law.
Oh, God.
He said snail's law. I'm sure he said snail.
Yeah, he did.
He did. Oh no.
You say snails on?
Yeah,
He said
yeah,
snail's
snail's
law.
law. Snail's law. Yeah. And it can't be an accent thing, could it? It's definitely a
No,
mispronunciation.
no. That's just him misspeaking.
Yeah.
Are you? Yeah. You brought it up, so I'm gonna use it on you. How about that? Look, this is not changing. This is changing. This is not changing as you assume. This is not changing as you assume. But then you.
Wait, is it
invoke
changing
Snell's
or not
law,
changing?
And as soon as it hits that all this fucking water particle, you have a different angle. That's gonna give you a different reading. That's gonna give you 100% different reading. Now, this is going to be a shadow here. Actually, shadow should be going way out here. It's going to give you a totally different reading. This is going to give you a totally different reading. It's unscientific of you to deny this. It's unscientific. It doesn't matter if you have a scientist name.
Playing the walk
It
so
is
people can
unscientific
see
to
it.
deny
I mean,
it.
he's
There's plenty
literally
of fucking scientists that said smoking is good. There's plenty of fucking scientists that said asbestos was good for you. There's plenty of fucking scientists that got it real wrong.
I mean, AB Science is literally a scientist.
I don't give a flying fuck. Literally, scientists said smoking was good.
AB is there?
Hey, AB scientist, do you think every scientist is
AB.
infallible?
No, absolutely not.
Exactly. Thank you. Can you tell your buddy?
I mean,
Doesn't mean shit that you have your name. You have to verify what's really happening. Is this happening? Is this happening? Is this changing? Is this changing? Yes, it is. Yes,
No,
it is. You
because it
can't leave it
happens
out
to solar
shit
noon, you
because you want
moron.
a outcome. It doesn't work that way. That's pseudoscience.
Yeah, it doesn't
Science
work that
doesn't
way,
give a
so
shit
stop
what you
doing it.
want. Yes. What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? The angles change, do they not? Yes or no?
Can you stop?
Okay, how much does the
Yes.
angle?
See, the thing about the Eratosthenes experiments, you do it at solar noon, so the sun's shining straight down on you, so that refraction is at a very minimum to almost zero. And plus, even if you have a slight refraction of the sun is 30 arc minutes big and doesn't twinkle. I mean, that's basically when you look up at the sky and you see twinkling, that's refraction when you look at the stars. But the sun is like 30 arc minutes big. You rarely, if ever, see the shadow physically move because the sun is like moving. This is bullshit. He doesn't. It's a matter of scale. He's just trying to throw shit against the screen until he finds something that people either misunderstand or.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is horseshit.
Well,
change.
you should actually try and do it sometime. The effect of the effective umbra penumbra shadow that you get off the end of the stick is more of a difference. Trying to read that is more of a difference than any angular change you would have due to refraction through the atmosphere.
Right, and again, that's why you do this. You know, that's what one of their big things right now is because of the stupid black swan thing. Is they're really big on reflection. You know that. Refraction can do anything that they want to do on the flat Earth. Basically, it nullifies any observation that you make optically, which means we can't trust our eyes anymore. So we're basically, you can't even read a book, I guess.
Right.
But it's bullshit, especially when you do it at solar noon, when the sun, which is big, coming straight down on you.
Well, not straight down, but it's,
Okay,
at a high,
there is one
angle.
point. That's correct. There is one point though, because you need it to make it easy, you need one point at 90 degrees.
Yeah, that usually we did it at the equinox.
At equinox, right?
So
March
it
20th
would
this
be
year.
over the equator. Yeah.
You can do it other time. You just have to look at the charts to figure out where your 90-degree point is, or you can do the hard thing and figure out two angles that aren't 90 degrees where they intersect. That's always more difficult.
Yeah, you can do all those things.
That would be trigonometry. They don't do trigonometry.
Well, no, they don't do trig. They don't understand trig. This guy doesn't. I don't know if this guy understands trig, but so far he's basically blowing the Eratosthenes experiment.
Well,
I wonder who the first guy was.
Your angle to the sun on the equinox is going to be 90 degrees minus your latitude.
Right. You also proved that the tilt of the Earth by doing the same experiment. You don't even need to be solar noon, but you don't need more than one. You can prove your latitude or prove that Improve the angle of the tilt by your latitude minus 90, or how's it work?
90 minus
Yeah.
your latitude.
Minus your latitude gives you 23.4. It should.
You just does it change? Yes or no?
We're going to get
Yes,
to
it
something
does.
very
Say it.
important that you
Say
need
it.
to remember.
Say it. It doesn't matter.
Shut up for a
Does it
moment.
change? You shut up. Does it change?
If the incident angle
Does it
is
change?
if the incident light is perpendicular to the surface, how much does the angle change?
It's not perpendicular. Over here on this side, on the side, when you fucking draw it out, look, you draw it like this, and then you put a fucking obelisk that fucking big, you look like an idiot. Okay? In reality, it's this. Let's go even bigger so you can get the. Yeah, this.
AB is a real scientist too.
And you're measuring these fucking light rays on a. Right there, and the sun is straight up. They come in perpendicular. Excellent. They come in.
This guy is really big on
Still going to come
Dunning-Kruger.
into contact with the fucking atmosphere first.
I mean, he's trying to school AP
Enhanced view.
science.
Enhanced
Really
view.
smart dude.
You got it. That's it. You got the atmosphere.
Just wait until they get into
Then you got the sun rays
meat
coming
and
in.
stuff like that.
Perpendicular.
So I know he'll
Yeah,
bring it up
then-
at some point.
Yeah, it does.
In the what?
Oh, you look like a fucking idiot.
And what
Seriously.
is?
This is all
Meat.
scientific for fucking. This is.
Oh, they talk about his vegan side of his.
Oh no, go on.
Yeah,
Is this the guy who drinks his piss?
No,
but he's like a militant vegan.
Established, dude.
I get that.
Once you fuck that up, once you fuck this up right here. Yeah, it's perpendicular. It's fucking stupid. It's not perpendicular.
Hold on,
Most of your drawing
look at
is
that.
converging.
Let me.
Most of your
I'm
drawings
going to
have-
do my own,
how many different colors?
drawing control.
See that? It's always been. It's always been.
How many different
you
colors
put
is
the
this guy
obelisk
using?
way higher.
I don't
This is what
know.
people say.
Keep
All
going.
over.
Who knows?
And you put the obelisk way up here. They do that shit on.
Cavendish.
Yeah.
What does Cavendish got to do with this?
It'd be alright if you
I
could.
don't know,
Actually,
but
it'd be alright if I could
Well,
actually
what does
see what
Cavendish
he.
have to do with this experiment?
It'd be alright if I could actually see what he's drawing. That'd be funny.
Purpose to trick you.
Okay, can I ask? Can I ask you a question?
You can ask me whatever you want.
Give me a
That's what we're here for, isn't it?
yeah,
This is an egg.
will
Hey, scientist, tell me that I'm wrong. Scientist guy, tell me that I'm wrong.
You've misunderstood many things.
Okay, excellent.
okay,
Tell
let me.
me where I'm wrong.
I just want to real quick ask. Will
No, I want to know where I'm wrong.
real quick, I do want to ask if light is traveling. I'm gonna if light is traveling this direction, right? Will light ever bend like this? Do you see my screen?
No.
Will light? So if light is traveling down this way, will it ever bend like this?
Why can't he see the
Perfectly
screen?
selected. Well, it depends on. No, it's not going to bend like that at all.
Because there's a
But what
bit
is
up
the
his
bottom
ass.
surface? What is that line? What is line
That just indicates the difference in entering a different medium. So this can be water.
Excellent. What is the different mediums? What is the medium?
We'll say glass. Let's just say glass, or it can be whatever you want it to be. But will this ever happen?
No,
Why not?
this doesn't work.
Well, tell me why this would never happen.
Snell's law. There you go. Boom.
I mean,
Snail's law. Yeah, snail's law.
you're kind of right. Okay, now
I know I'm right.
I just
I remember what it is, but I didn't remember what you were talking about.
now
And I don't know the equation for it.
now would
I do know. I actually do know the equation for it, but I don't know the numbers of it.
now would the second
Know the
one ever
equation, but I
happen?
don't know the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, why? What is the difference
Because it's being
between?
refracted. The lights has been slowed down by the medium.
Okay, what is the difference between the first one and the second one that causes the second one to refract and the first one to not refract? Which would
The angle.
The angle. I think he's got it finally.
I've always had it, bro. You guys are not fucking accounting for the angle, bro. It's not me. It's you.
Well, it's because this first one is
You are not
perpendicular.
accounting for the fucking angle. You're trying to be a smart ass. You're looking like a fucking dumbass, doing your head like this and shit. You literally what you just said is what I'm just drawing right here. And when you're measuring inches, it fucking matters.
Does AB
You look, I mean, you guys should be like, wow. Instead, you're like, "Ugh," like doing your fucking retarded shit. It's insane. It's literally mental illness. And we'll get to that if you want to.
No, this debate is about flat. I mean, yeah, I suppose flat Earth
Yeah,
could be
well.
considered a mental illness to some, but you know.
Yeah, well, actually, you're suffering from paranoia, schizophrenia, and feminization through animal products. If you really want to talk about that,
there we go.
You're talking.
There it is.
Well,
You're literally
There we go.
talking to someone that will that won't. I eat a lot of soy products instead of animal products. So,
But are you vegan now?
Sometimes, but I mean,
No, you're not. No, that means no, which means you eat animal products, which are an inflammatory allergen to every human being. Doesn't matter where you're from.
I mean,
every time you put any kind of animal product in your mouth, it's an inflammatory reaction, and that inflammatory reaction swells the blood vessels in your body.
What?
Okay.
In your brain. So point.
Yeah, citation.
So why do I look? So why me that someone?
I don't want to get onto that. Might have to do a
Please,
jump.
I don't need to hear it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what he yells about. So I wouldn't be surprised if the rest of the argument is that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's just the different categories of dirt that he. I think he tries to go back to this again, but I don't think they really get anywhere with
The buildings are 20. The buildings are 20 miles away.
How tall are those buildings? Calculate it right now. Calculate it. How tall are those buildings? I can see
I
that
think
building.
they
How tall is that building? Go
said
find that building in real life. Find out how many floors it is, because it doesn't look.
they
that tall.
said 250 feet tall. At 20 miles
That
away.
building's 200. Where? What is that building? I don't see any measurement for a building.
This is the sort of estimation of the buildings, but the buildings shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be visible at all.
No, they shouldn't be
Shouldn't
as
be visible at
obstructed.
all.
No, the buildings shouldn't be as obstructed as
You
the
shouldn't
mountain.
see the fucking shoreline. Put the other picture back on. You see all the shoreline.
But
that should be well under cover. Yeah,
that
look at
isn't-
it. Boom, you can see all the shoreline.
That-
you can see all the
that-
shoreline. Man.
but that-
Do it again. Take it off. Take it off. Take it off. Take it off and then put it back. You can see the shoreline. You should not. You should.
You do realize that
Let me do the calculator.
you do realize that this image here, this image that has been overlaid, is exactly what you expect to see on a globe, right?
Exactly. You would never see that. You would never see that because it would be hidden by curvature.
No, this is exactly what we expect to see on a globe. This image here.
How tall is the camera? How tall is the camera? When this
The camera is at I think it's 150 feet. That's the observational height.
150 feet.
Yeah.
That's pretty high. I don't know why flat earth were 150 feet.
I like how that
That's
just
taken by
completely
the
throws him
shore,
off.
then you're gonna have a whole lot of problems.
Oh wait, he didn't take it at the shore? I don't know
Oh.
what
I'm
to say.
sure at 100 miles that you're going to have
I'm gonna read.
1,000, way more than that actually mountain. At 200, at 20, at 10 miles, you have 200 feet of curvature missing.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a bit of a break to read out the
Yeah, I watched a bit of it up to here, so I don't know what else he's gonna. I'm trying to get through this quickly.
Talking about incident angle, so that's the angle between the surface normal and the incident light. You see very small deviation between the two angles. If you then go near parallel to the surface, you start seeing a very large deviation. Now, on the left-hand side of the plot, that is the situation you would
Hold
kind
on,
of
why
expect
is it- why
with
go near
Eratosthenes. On the right,
surface?
that's the Bedford level.
No. You just said you could. Wait, hold on. Back up like a little bit. Because you just said. Wait, run that by me again? We'll read it in the video. I was paying attention to this and I barely heard what you said. Go ahead and say that again.
Okay,
The last part. A little like 5 seconds.
well, on the bottom plot, right, you see that, yeah, for small
Something
incident
about Bedford
angles.
level.
Sorry?
Yeah. You
For
said something
small
about Bedford level.
Yeah. Okay, what's on the left-hand side, right, that is close to Eratosthenes. Right, those are the angles we're dealing with, and we see this very small deviation. On the right-hand side, that's what we'll be dealing with.
Why would it be a smaller deviation when you have
Because of the small angle,
more
that's what Snell's law
liquid?
describes.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, but
yeah, but you just keep saying Bedford, and then you just keep totally dismissing the huge amount of atmospheric refraction.
This is dealing with
no,
atmospheric
no.
refraction.
It's insane. You say 6 miles is bad, but 500 miles is okay. You say that Bedford level. I'm questioning whether it was done in the summer. I'm taking Wikipedia. It doesn't seem like they would fucking go all the way out of their way to go to Bedford level to do it in the fucking summer with this bunch of humidity. That seems stupid. So I'm gonna keep saying it was a wintertime experiment here with a 0 atmospheric refraction due to humidity. I don't
The
understand how you're
humidity
trying to
is
say-
less in the summer in Britain.
Yeah, I mean, where are you getting that from? Wikipedia again too?
I live there.
You might get more rainfall, but not humidity due to evaporation.
oh my god!
Do you understand what
At
this
Bedford
graph?
level.
Do you understand what this graph shows?
Yeah, it shows your fucking the thing you just made up. That's what it shows.
It shows the impact of Snell's
Do
law
you think
on.
this is some kind of science that is like fucking?
Do you
set in
see
stone?
where
Is that
my
what you think?
where my mouse is? Do you see where my mouse is?
No, I don't. Move it around. Yeah, I see it.
That is what we're dealing with when it comes to cyan, right?
That's what you're guessing. Yeah, that's what.
No,
you're
this is based on Snell's law, something that can be replicated.
exactly, but you're basing that on guesses about the atmospheric.
This is
goings-on.
using worst
So
case
it's just all
scenario.
hearsay.
This is
all
worst
hearsay.
case
Literally a
scenario.
waste of time. Literally a waste of time. You don't know that. That could be a very conservative estimate. You have no idea.
Okay, you think that's a very conservative estimate? Let me just do one where I make a slightly more extreme case, okay?
It still proves my point, though. Like everything you're saying proves what I said about the bending light over here on Eratosthenes' experiment. If it bends any, you have to account for it. If it bends any, you have to account for it. That's the rules of science. It's like science is like, you can leave some shit out that definitely affects the fucking shadow. It didn't say that. It says eliminate all outside possibilities. But you people want to play like it's fucking okay to leave an entire element, which is bending the fucking light that you're measuring.
You do know one way of controlling. Do you know one way of controlling
variables?
variables?
Fucking light that you're measuring.
Do you know one way of controlling
That's why flat
variables?
earthers get mad. Y'all fucking
Do you know one way of
ridiculous,
controlling variables?
manipulating them.
No, one way of
ways.
control. There's a couple of ways of controlling variables. The first one is to
Okay.
replicate the experiment under different conditions where those variables have changed
But you
using
still
the
are
same.
guesstimating, bro.
No,
You're still guesstimating every time.
No.
You're still guesstimating, and you're
What's
still not
happening?
including the fucking-
What's happening is when you
God.
is when you replicate the experiment under
Guess-
different conditions. If the conditions
Okay.
have an impact on the and you do the same experiment.
They do.
Right? If
They
the
do.
if
They
the
do.
conditions have an impact on the experiment, then it should show up in the data. If
It
it
does.
doesn't show
It
up on the
does.
data, or if it's very minimal, when it shows up in the data, like if it's
Minimal's
only
important.
if it's like
You understand?
if it's like a
minimal, if it's
0.1.
minimal measurements, and you're talking about millions of fucking miles. You're talking about it's minimal. It's not minimal.
If it's
not
like
minimal. When you move-
0.1.
If you move that shadow, no. If you move that shadow a fraction of a millimeter, that means the sun has changed total position from what you're saying.
If the
Whether you fucking want to or not. If you want to fucking admit, show everybody you're scientifically illiterate, go for it. But if you move that fraction, that fucking shadow, a fraction, that means over the millions of miles that sun's supposed to be out, that sun would have moved a lot.
0.1 degrees of deviation is going to show. It will show up, but only very slightly. And if you're measuring things accurately enough, right? If you're not measuring things accurately enough, then it's within the margin of error.
Do you think that will pass gas mustard in the in courtroom? Pass the gas? You think that'll work in a courtroom?
It would absolutely work in a courtroom.
It would absolutely not. You guys are actually have lost in the courtroom.
Well,
several times.
do you actually think that a court has a higher standard of evidence than science?
No, you could provide scientific evidence. That's why it's lost twice. You can't provide scientific experimentation of your beliefs. That's why it's theoretical. And theoretical will never win in a court case.
I mean, a courtroom did convict someone based on a. Courtrooms have convicted people based on faulty statistics.
That's great. This dude, these several cases are directly saying this dude says the Earth is a ball. This guy's saying not, and you lost. You couldn't provide any scientific experimentation. Lost. Look it up. Two cases are.
Those court cases
I know one
were
of the cases
actually
that
about
I know one of the cases was
They sued
based
him over
on.
Bedford level, and they couldn't get their money either. You understand that, right? They sued him over Bedford level, and they still couldn't get their money because they didn't prove.
Yep, I think you're muted.
No, I didn't do anything.
Sound went away.
Weird. Is it still playing?
Nope, it looks like paused.
Oh, what happened there?
Yep. No, screen changed. Maybe the.
Attention to this, and I barely heard what you said. Go ahead and say that again.
Maybe I haven't got it.
A little like 5 seconds.
It's buffered up until
the
that
bottom
point.
plot.
'Cause I paused it.
Yeah, for small incident angles.
I paused it to there, so it's not giving me the rest of it, even though I paused it. So I'm gonna have to leave that. Doesn't look like I'm gonna be able to get the rest of it. Oh,
That's okay.
Because I was about to do another couple of jumps and to try to catch up to it live.
I'm all for the less Jason over more Jason.
Yeah. Yeah, you can only handle him for so much. Especially arguing against somebody like AB Science even. That's
You'd think that with...
Well, can't play that.
AP Science is a really smart dude, man.
Yeah. I was playing some of his videos earlier on. I forgot about his videos to play some of them.
He basically scientifically disproved this whole relative density bullshit. The math is fairly complicated, way more than any Flurf can understand. But basically, if you have relative density, it requires that light items fall faster than heavy items, which is backwards from the way most people think it would be.
Right.
Oh, we'll probably just play a few light-hearted videos. Because I'm not going to be streaming all afternoon.
If you want to play a good one, look at the newest Sleeping Warrior Coriolis thing. He blows that pretty bad.
Oh, okay. I haven't actually got that.
Yeah, it's a brand new one. He just posted it today.
Is anyone able to post a link to it somewhere, and I can?
Hold on a second, let me look for it.
You can put it in any other vids over in Discord if that makes it any.
Sure. YouTube. See you on Discord?
Yeah, in any other vids, please.
1 second. Discord. I'll get back to Discord. Ozzie Perspective. Where he posts this.
Any other vids.
Any other vids? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Paste.
I can grab it from there.
It's posted.
Okay, scroll down. Yep, Sleeping Warrior. Okay, I'll grab that.
This is a video.
Well, put it back to the start. Yeah. No spoilers.
Well, you only know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's. I was waiting for an answer similar to that when I say no spoiler. Where are we? Here we go. Press play.
This is a video about Coriolis effect. It's one of those confusing topics that Blurthers deliberately obfuscate to make it sound confusing. They want you to be confused by the end of the conversation so that you don't and you default back to, oh, well, maybe the Earth is turning because I didn't understand that. It's very, very simple. On screen I've put on the west and the east to indicate the direction of rotation, and we are told that the Earth rotates from the west to the east because the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west, therefore the Earth is rotating from the west to the east, and that's the way you can see it on screen. As you can imagine, planes flying over the Earth are meant to be suffering the effects of Earth rotation underneath them. That is the claim of the Coriolis effect. The Coriolis effect is the apparent deflection caused by the Earth rotating underneath the plane. Now, Wolfie6020 doesn't know. He doesn't tell people that the Earth doesn't show this. He tells people that you wouldn't expect to see Earth rotation. And everybody else on the Blurther side believes that that's the position. They think that explaining why you don't see apparent deflection explains away why Earth-based Coriolis isn't a thing. Obviously, that is incorrect. Earth has got to rotate underneath the planes, otherwise we're not expected to see Coriolis effect. It doesn't apply to Earth. Now, here we see a demonstration with the planes flying over the Earth whilst the Earth is in motion. And as you can see, as we get to the Pacific Ocean to demonstrate the point, we're going to pick on Hawaii, somewhere in the middle, and you can see the planes that are flying towards Hawaii. Hawaii is coming towards the plane as well, so they're flying towards Hawaii, but Hawaii is coming towards the plane.
How many flights does he think go to Hawaii?
Quicker than if you're flying towards Hawaii from the other side, because you're chasing Hawaii, and you're not going against the Earth rotation, you're fighting the Earth rotation because you're trying to catch it up. So it's obvious the position. The position is, if the Earth is rotating the way we're told, flights towards the east must be longer. Flights towards the west must be shorter, because the Earth is supposed to be turning underneath the plane. If they argue that the conservation of momentum means that they can negate the expectation of Earth-based Coriolis, then there is no Coriolis effect. We've got to see that apparent deflection. Okay? It's very simple. They'll use every weaseling wiggling book, every weaseling tactic in the book to try and demonstrate why we do not see. Now what I'm going to present to you is a back and forth that happened live on a Discord server debate thing that was being rebroadcast on YouTube, and this happens time and time again. I see it many times. It's only 10 clips. Without further ado,
okay, here we get to watch it.
Demonstrable proof of Earth's rotation. Orlando to Manchester is 7 hours and 50 minutes, and the return, Manchester to Orlando, is 9 hours 25 minutes.
And can I just check, which way does Earth rotate? East to west or west to east?
East. And that is all Coriolis is.
So Earth is rotating to the west, then?
Flight time is faster east and with the rotation than against it.
It should be slower when flying east, as you are chasing the Earth turn.
Please. Now, what he forgets is that the winds blow from east to west, and that is the reason that flights eastbound are faster than flights westbound, and that is caused by Coriolis. Okay, go on.
Oops.
Coriolis is simply, you can move east easier than moving west. That is it.
So why did you cite a flight from USA to the UK that was quicker to the UK heading east, when it should be harder or slower for your cited flight?
You overcomplicate it because you want to make it something it isn't. Because to wrap this up, all flights east, and with the rotation of the Earth is faster.
Time out.
Okay, quick recap. His last comment said, because to wrap this all up, all flights east and with the rotation of the Earth is faster. Yet we can clearly see that if the Earth is rotating from the west to the east and flights are heading west, it's going to be faster, and east, it's going to be slower because of Earth rotation.
Time in.
No, when you're chasing the destination or heading east, it must take longer if Earth is turning with you. Your example was quicker though. You have it the wrong direction for Earth turn, buddy. You have the eastbound flight faster when it should be slower if Earth is turning under the plane.
Are you real?
Your quote, demonstrable proof of Earth rotation. Orlando to Manchester is 7 hours 50 and the return to Manchester to Orlando is 9:25. This is the wrong way round, isn't it, dumbass?
I thought the real sleeping warrior would put up more of a fight than obfuscation and denial. That is the right way. Earth turns east. This is basic stuff, to be honest.
Just admit your claim is the wrong way round here and be an adult. The Earth is turning backwards on your citation. Be a man and admit it.
London to Toronto is 7 hours and 55 minutes, and the return is 6 hours and 55 minutes. Dallas to Italy equals 10 hours 25 minutes, and the return Italy to Dallas is 12 hours. JFK to LAX is 6 hours 18 minutes, and the return LAX to JFK is 5 hours 18 minutes. EWR to CPH is 7 hours 40 minutes and the return to JFK is 5 hours 18 minutes. Every single flight is faster heading east, Sleeping Warrior.
Again, you have it the wrong way around.
No.
Ed spins.
No, again, he doesn't. This,
this means you are both not understanding when you see rotation. You have it the wrong way around, Mr. Flat Earther.
You're not understanding that your claim has the Earth rotating backwards.
No.
Not claiming it.
It's not the Earth rotation because
the one that says the Earth is flat and doesn't move.
Winds.
Sleeping Warrior.
Because the winds.
Yeah, that's the bit.
Yeah,
that
not the Earth rotating below you.
Yeah.
The Earth rotating below you has zero effect on this because you're of conservation momentum. You have the same momentum. You're flying again. You're flying relative to the Earth, not relative to the rotating Earth. I mean, this is the typical,
right. Yeah.
You take off, and you immediately lose all your momentum, which is just bullshit. And again, the main reason, and this guy is a little bit off in his explanation, but the main reason that the flights eastbound are faster than the flights westbound is because the winds blow from west to east. Wait for it, Coriolis.
Warrior has it wrong because I have shown you motion Sleeping Warrior, and you think it's backwards Sleeping Warrior, but it's a start.
No. Earth turns west to east on your model. If I head west, my flight time is less because Earth is coming towards me. Your citations are backwards, though.
We see motion, don't we?
If that's caused by Earth turn,
purposely
prove it turns backwards.
Ignore the direction if that bit is too difficult to understand, Sleeping Warrior. Just be honest and admit we see motion.
So he's trying to be technical in the sense of, yes, if there was no wind, nothing stopping the plane from travelling at the exact speed, travelling east-west and west-east.
No, what he's thinking is that the plane takes off and it loses all its momentum. So that So basically, you take off and you wait for the Earth to rotate underneath you and land. And if you're going west, you have to fight the rotation.
Oh, you're fighting it, yeah. Okay.
So he thinks that you can take off, fly westbound, and just kind of, in a helicopter, just hover for a couple hours, and the Earth will rotate under you, and then you land. Which is bullshit. As you take off, you have momentum of the place you took off from.
Yeah.
Let's not ignore direction. Your model demands a west to east direction of rotation, but you are citing backwards rotation with your examples.
Up to you.
If that's Earth rotation, Earth is rotating backwards to this moron.
Okay, you can think that, as long as you admit rotation. Not static.
No, you cited it, not me thinking it, you cited it.
If you make a video to this, make sure to accurately represent your position. You see Earth rotation now, don't you?
So at this point I asked him would he like to retract his comments before I make a video, or would he double down. I didn't get that clip, but that screenshot, but here is his response.
I will double down. I look forward to the flat Earth explanation of a constant wind that blows the same speed always. Good luck with that, Sleeping Warrior, and your life in general. I fear you will need it.
So as we can see again, just to make the position really clear, it's really easy to jump on the bandwagon and take a piss out of this guy. But let's just be clear, all the flights that we can chase around the Earth, none of them support the Earth rotating from the west to the east. Because as you can see, as you're flying towards Hawaii, Hawaii's coming towards you. And as you're flying, if you're going from America, but if you're going from Japan, you're chasing Hawaii, you're chasing it, so it has to take longer. That is the position on the globe, but obviously it doesn't demonstrate that in the real world, because flight times seem to suggest the Earth's rotating the opposite way. Of course the Earth isn't rotating either way. It's caused by the wind, and we all know what causes wind. It's high pressure going to low pressure caused by the sun and the biogeochemical cycle, but obviously that's advanced geology.
This is bullshit. This is not bullshit, but it's not the cause of the wind.
No, that can cause air pressure.
This is the hydrological cycle, which has some effect on the wind, but not a lot. Unless you live on an island. If you live on a little island like this, yeah, the wind blows offshore during the day and onshore at night. But that's because of temperature. Anyway.
Advanced Earth-based sciences and all that kind of stuff. And Blerthers can't understand what gravity is. So let's not get caught up in it. It's very simple.
No,
if the Earth's rotating
from
the west to the east, there must be faster flight times. This happens always. Blerthers always get this wrong. Just look at the flight times. Doesn't support the Earth being a sphere, and this guy unintentionally debunks the Earth rotating. Well done.
Oh,
you and your reference.
Anyway, that was short and sweet.
When he does that laugh. Yeah, when he does that laugh, I want to smack him in the back of the head.
I think you'd be standing in line.
I think we could have a little fun with that.
Yeah. You feeling up to it, Blue?
Yeah, I haven't bitch slapped old Sloppy in a while. Why not?
Make a snowman out of him and whack him with a bit of 4B2.
Yeah. Something like that.
Hey, are your stars rotating anti-clockwise there? There. Cool. I just noticed that.
Oh, no, on my avatar thing.
Yeah.
They're going the wrong way. I think Alan photographed it backwards.
What the hell happened?
Yeah, he's got it going the wrong way.
Yeah, it should be going clockwise.
I know Peter made a little video of his star rotation from down his way. That's the one I used for the premiere to notify for this stream.
It's not a great picture. Wonder if I can find it.
I will be getting a decent star rotation from the southern hemisphere. I don't know who's got one, but we'll get one or find one. I thought Wolfie done one, but I wasn't sure.
I'm sure they're out there. There's plenty out there.
Yeah, but I want them done by someone we know, like we can verify. I don't want to just get a random one.
That way you don't have to worry about copyright and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's pretty tough to copyright the star rotations.
No, but you can copyright the photograph or video of it.
Yeah, well, like I said, prove it's yours.
Yeah, I know. With me, with copyrights, I don't go too good.
Yeah. I wouldn't risk it if I were you.
Even as bloody steam train. I'm not even sure if that video had a watermark on it or not, that it was from his channel or not. That was the part that they can't verify. They can't verify the footage unless the footage has got some sort of watermark or something on it to say that it was theirs.
As long as you've got the original footage and the metadata from it, you can show. You don't need a watermark on it.
Yeah, well, we've been going for another 10 minutes, so I think I can squeeze out. I've got it. I'd like to do Simon Dan's, if that's Flat Earth Friday one. That's February 5th. That should be Friday over there, shouldn't it? Flat Earth Friday.
The 5th was Friday.
Yeah, the 5th was Friday here too.
Amazing how that works. I mean, just because you're ahead of us doesn't mean the days are different. You know, still go.
Hey, look, the sun's shining sort of with a few clouds and it's daytime. Prove me wrong. And the sun's almost directly overhead as it arcs across the sky. Well, I'm a little bit below the equator, so it wouldn't be directly overhead, would it? Share. Oh, it's already shown, I think. Out there. Or is it? What have I done wrong here? Don't want that one. I want that one. That should be full screen.
Something strange in your neighbourhood. Who are you going to call?
Ballbusters.
If it's something weird and it don't look good, who are you going to call?
Ballbusters.
If you're seeing globes running through your head, who are you going to call?
Ballbusters.
An invisible horizon that fills you with dread, who are you going to call?
Ballbusters.
Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, a quick thank you to the sponsors of today's video, Mack Weldon. When it comes to men's essentials...
Oh, I forget about his
the most comfortable underwear I've ever worn, including at MackWeldon.com. Patting each other on the back to the same 200 people over and over and over again. Well, at the turn of the year, the Ballbusters were celebrating the 1-year anniversary of the famous photo that they call the Black Swan. During this live stream, Nathan decided to give us a rundown of the top 3 globe debunking proofs. Buckle up everyone, Nathan even sings in this one.
Earth is obviously and observably and measurably flat. Well, if you wanted a silver bullet, there it is. Destroying any notion of the reification of a... It seems so preposterous to say this, but a sphere Earth, having people hanging off it antipodal, being Earth curvature, the horizon being an edge that you can see from high altitude, all that nonsense, all dead. The Black Swan, all of it. It's your silver bullet. You wanted one prior to now, that's it. If you didn't recognize it before now, I'm telling you, this is that silver bullet.
What? This?
Wrong.
This photo right here, the one that has so much refraction going on that the straight crane there on the left looks like King Kong has used it as an earbud. Honestly. In fact, Jonathan...
It's false. No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication.
It's number 1 on our top 3 globe debunkings. Top 3. It's number 1.
Wait a second, Nathan. Wait a second, Nathan. Hey, Miggy from 24/7 Flat Earth Discord 2.0. Listen up, sir. Go ahead, Nathan.
24/7 Flat Earth Discord. I wonder if I'm still banned from that.
I'm still banned.
Everybody
I'm
is.
still banned.
I'm going to make a bet with someone. I'll go in there and see how long it takes me to get man.
It only took me a day. It could take an hour or two.
Oh, okay. Some people haven't even lasted a few minutes. They just said their name.
Clearly not. But that guy had a pre-made meme about me. Interesting.
Well, I forgot what I was talking about. I thought you were going to launch into the presentation.
No, the top 3.
Okay, yeah, we'll do the full-on shebango. Dun 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 dun.
No, this is as bad as Nathan Thompson's Jeopardy singing. Just joking, I wouldn't do that to you again.
Number 3, it's Coriolis effect. If the Earth was turning, then we would observe a 15 degrees an hour turn of the Earth as it turned underneath an inertial
Thanks, Bob.
reference frame. This would cause a flight from Charlotte, North Carolina to LA to take only an hour and a half as Earth turned underneath. Obviously, given that the flight takes 4.5 hours, we have no Earth turning underneath anything at 15 degrees an hour.
So Nathan seems to think that these flights he's talking about should be affected by the Coriolis effect. But what he doesn't understand is that they are affected by the Coriolis effect, just not by the way that he thinks. First off, at Charlotte in North Carolina, the rotation of the Earth means the ground speed there is around 850 miles per hour. The problem is the ground and the air above that ground are all moving at 850 miles per hour as well. And the plane. The plane is too. And conservation of momentum dictates that it will still have that 850 miles per hour as it takes off. The cruising speed of a Boeing 757 is around 500 miles per hour. This means that when a plane flies east, its true speed is around 1,350 miles an hour to the east, and when it flies west, its true speed is about 350 miles an hour also to the east.
I don't know about
the whole point though is that the relative speed of that plane is 500 miles per hour in either direction. However, that's not the whole story, because it actually takes a little bit longer to fly to LA from Charlotte than the other way round. And that is actually because of the Coriolis effect driving the winds and jet streams.
Dan gets it right.
Nathan has debunked himself by bringing up this point.
Dun, 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 dun. Down one at number 2, it's gas pressure without a container. How can you have gas pressure without a container? You can't. It's a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas...
Well, I was just going to correct you. They just get this word container completely screwed up. You mean contained or container?
Oh, they mean container. See, but the thing is, they don't understand this. I call this the second law of peripheral dynamics, because they do not understand the second law of thermodynamics. It doesn't require everything to get more random. It requires, that the entire universe get more random. You can have just random stuff or unrandom stuff as long as something else gets random. Your refrigerator proves this every day.
Exactly. You've got equipment in your house that makes entropy go backwards, and it's called a refrigerator.
Gas we breathe would fill the space. Space is fake.
Honestly lost count of the amount of times this has been debunked. First off, it's not correct to say that the atmosphere has gas pressure. There is a difference here, and it should be referred to as atmospheric pressure. And that's because the atmosphere has a pressure gradient, due to gravity, of course. Here's Wolfie6020 giving us a great example, watching the atmospheric pressure increase as he goes down in a lift from the 26th floor.
The lift, is that like an elevator?
Yeah, lift elevator, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
The
call
lifts
it
in Australia too?
Yeah, we call it an elevator here.
Oh, an elevator? Okay, I didn't know.
Or the lift. Lift or elevator.
Okay. It's a cool experiment. I guess you could actually do that.
Yeah. Get a tall enough building, it works well.
It's only 26 floors, that's not that much actually. You can see the pressure differential.
Yeah.
It's not a lot, it's like a couple millibars.
Now, given that this is only the height of a building that we're seeing a change in pressure, it's not inconceivable to think that by the time we get to the edge of space, the pressure up there is almost zero. Also, Nathan's understanding of thermodynamics stops at the definition of it. I hope this finally puts that one to bed.
Stop a second before we get to this one.
Pardon?
See, I was going to say, I've always asked them, so if they know that there is a pressure gradient, and this is demonstrable, and they usually have to agree to that. I ask them where it stops and at what pressure does it stop, and they usually don't have an answer for that.
No.
Because the answer is it goes out to basically zero and stops, wherever it gets to zero.
And now...
Sorry,
if you really wanted to ask them what causes the pressure differential, and that'll blow their minds.
Yeah, that will.
For a full year, unmoved from number 1. It's the black swan. If the Earth was a sphere with a radius of 3959, then every distance to horizon could be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. And it is demonstrably proven beyond all certitude, not that you need more than one, that the radius of the Earth cannot be measured because we do not have a geometric physical sphere edge for a horizon.
This is the so-called black swan, as we saw before. How you can use this as evidence that the globe doesn't exist is beyond me. Look at the refraction going on. It's clearly visible. And this is their best proof. It really is laughable, isn't it? And there are more ways.
Mr. Sensible done a great experiment showing refraction over a ball with an object just passed on the edge of it as you couldn't see it, and then he showed refraction and showed how it was brought back up like the black swan image to show that. It just means that we got the second horizon. There's still a horizon, so...
ways of measuring the radius of the Earth other than just standing on a beach looking at the horizon.
Dun, 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 dun.
Bravo!
Wow.
That was
What's the song you
absolutely
sing?
flat-tastic there, mate.
Trying to sing.
I love the dun, dun,
I don't
dun,
even know what the
dun,
tune
dun,
is.
But I like the end where you add the dun, dun, dun.
Is that the dating game music?
See what I mean about the patting each other on the back thing?
Idea. It's our top 3 for the top 3 globe debunkings. And that's why it's a silver bullet, because it's all well and good saying, right, you've now got pictures from space. Space is fake. You know, if the sky was a vacuum, we wouldn't have any gas. It's nonsense. We need something for it to press upon. Now, I don't know what that is, but I know we must have something for it to press upon for us to have gas pressure. Therefore, any claim that you've got pictures from space is fake. That was the former number 1 because it's so strong. All of their claims are utilizing this fake medium to propose this whole narrative about Star Wars, basically. We don't have it. Space isn't a vacuum for them to travel to the lights in the sky. That doesn't debunk the essence of the heliocentric model from where we stand and where it's reified from. And that's that the ground beneath your feet falls away from you at 8 inches per mile squared.
Except it doesn't. That's a parabola. I'm done with these lot today, although dissecting their top 3 globe debunks proofs has been fun. I won't deny that. And let's try this for today. You did so well at trying to get the 25,000 likes last week. Let's see if you can hit 30,000 likes on this video, and I'll make my own top 3 flat earth debunking proofs for the ballbusters to digest. Thank you all very much for watching today. If you enjoyed it, then please do like and subscribe as well if the feeling takes you. Just enough time to quickly thank Mack Weldon once again for sponsoring. Remember, visit mackweldon.com/SimonDan and use my promo code SimonDan.
Right, well, we don't need to hear that. So how many likes did he get? 11. He wanted to get. He's got 11 so far for that one.
11 likes.
Yeah, he's got 11k likes. What do you want to get? 30?
11k. 30 or something.
Yeah. He's a long way off from it. I'll give it a like. It's got 78 dislikes. Okay, get rid of that. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I might finish off for the day. We've been going for about 3 hours. That's not.
Yeah, it's kind of late here.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
The big game just ended, so.
Oh, the big game. Was half of it entertainment, like the when they stop for half time or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's the American way.
Yeah.
This is the big halftime show too. It's the American way.
Oh, wasn't it supposed to
Gridiron,
be some
as you guys
celebrity that was doing? I'm trying to think of the celebrity now.
I forget who it was.
Yeah,
they always have.
They
always try to get
mentioned
the
it.
biggest name.
Yeah, they mentioned it on the radio the other day that it's. Yeah, and it's not a typical person either. It was somebody.
We didn't have time. I forget. I didn't watch much of it.
Yeah.
What was it doing?
Yeah,
Who won, by the way?
The one.
Tampa Bay won. 31-9.
Cool.
Oh, wow.
One of our hometown boys plays for Tampa Bay.
All right then.
Yeah, wasn't even close. The Weekend. Who are they? That's who played The Weekend.
Oh, that's a band, like a newer band.
Yeah, that's who it was. I didn't recognize him.
Oh, sorry, I'm just typing here. I haven't got this there. That's for that. I don't know who else was out there, but I don't know if Alan's asleep or not, but anyway. Well, thanks, Alan, for letting me stream on your channel again. Now, thanks, Mute Donkey. Thanks, Big Blue. Thanks, NASA Shill. Thanks, Howie.
Anytime.
You're welcome, buddy. Thank you.
We had Sean was out there, Scott, Renee, me, Peter G, Pip was out there earlier. Who else did I see out there? Ozzie Glowbed. Surf was out there. 9 o'clock Hero, John Rapp. I'm going to miss somebody's name as usual if I scroll up too far. Oh, GPS. Oh, thanks, Peanuts, for watching. I don't know when I'm streaming again, so just watch this space, and we'll catch you in the next one.
I'll do that. It was fun. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.
Yeah. So good night, Peanuts.
Yep.